Now I have a cat. Any cat owners? Yeah. I love my cat. I don't know if other cat owners have experienced this. Whenever I play with my cat, in the middle of playing, she'll stop and react to another presence that's in the room that she clearly sees and hears. And then she'll follow it across the room. And then at one point, I assume it vanishes because she goes back to playing with me like nothing happened. And it's unnerving, all right? Because I'm brushing up against the netherworld. I have friends who go, I wish my kitty could talk. I don't, because if my cat could talk, it would be three things: annoying, and then terrifying, and then annoying again. That's all it would be all day. You know, I like that little chicken treat you gave me. I'll have another chicken treat. If you have another chicken treat, I'll eat another chicken treat. Demon just came in the room. It's walking across the room. It has a coyote head. Now the coyote head is splitting open. It's two baby heads. Now it's pointing at you. Now it's gone. Hey, you have another chicken treat? Those are good. No?
So we had guinea pigs growing up, and we kept them in our garage, and in the hot Ohio summers, they absolutely died in there. And my sister reminded me, we named one of the pigs Brownie, which in retrospect is extra sad. She was out there straight bacon at 375. And my mom felt awful, okay? So she let us give him a proper burial in the backyard. And me and my sisters took those hard-bodied pigs, not like ripped, but like rigor mortis hard, and we buried him in the easiest place to dig. We put him right in the sandbox. And then a couple of neighborhood dogs came along, snarfed him right up. It was a tragedy all around. And I really feel like it could have been avoided if we just had a dad.
Technology's a trip, man. Like, I don't work in an office, obviously. But people that do, you guys have your own little secret email language, don't you? There are all these acronyms I didn't know, like end of day, that's EOD. I didn't know that. Nobody tells you that. My favorite is out of office, because it's just 3 O's. But I didn't know. So the first time I got an email, they're like, so sorry for the delay, Peter. I've been a little, ooh. I'm like, what does that mean? Sorry for the delay, Peter. I've been a little, ooh. Like you're all dolled up on 34th Street, waving a hanky at the boys. That's why the email was late? Twirling a decorative paper umbrella with white gloves on? I don't understand. It's fine. You've been a little, ooh, I've been a little, ah! It's fine. Take your time. Take your time.
But I love being a father. Do you know he came in, when he was 6, he came into our bedroom Christmas morning. He goes, I want the truth. Is there a real Santa Claus, or are you guys the Santa Claus? What do you do in that situation? Do you lie to him so that one day he finds out you continue to lie and he'll never believe you again? Or are you honest with him? So I had to choose my words carefully because my wife thinks there's Santa Claus too. So we decided that we would be honest with him, and his body just went limp. He was so distraught, and he was so choked up. I said, but it's bigger than that, you know? Christmas has a significant and profound impact on global economy. You know what I'm saying? It increases spending, and that improves, you know, retail sectors and overall economic growth. And he looked at me, he goes, and does that include tariffs too, or is that something else, or? And he walked out of the bedroom, he was so sad. And he comes back like 5 minutes later, and he goes, and the Easter Bunny? Easter Bunny? No Easter Bunny. Tooth Fairy? No Tooth Fairy. And I said, the worst of it is, we're not your real parents. So pack up, buddy. Hit the road.
Y'all, you know what I like? Not driving through the Midwest. Have y'all done that before? That's a test of I think everything. You know, you think you got a decent Spotify, you're not built for it. I mean, you're not. You're like, I'll do the Eagles live album. It won't last. There's no trees. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You're not gonna see a bird for a day. Who cares about the music, you know? You're gonna think about your childhood. Midwest has the best gas stations, though. They're right when you're ready to give up, they're like, look what we put out here. It's got a slip and slide to pump 3. How about that? Got chocolate hot dogs every Wednesday. We got breakfast pizza so good it makes grown men fight each other. And that's just them apologizing. They know. You know, it's not like people live in Nebraska and go, what is everybody complaining about? Well, they got windows, you know? I do think places like Kansas, that flat, I feel like they should have every prison in the country, though. Because you could watch an inmate run away all weekend. Could you imagine the conversation in the guard tower? You're like, Tyler, do not shoot him, all right? I like to watch him give up. Yeah, Tyler, there is not a damn thing out there. Look at him, he's so confused, he doesn't know, everything looks the same.
Live in California. My parents' neighbor keeps trying to get, I'm from Oklahoma originally. He's always trying to get me to leave California. Every time I'm home, he's like, you gotta get out of California, man. God's gonna take the whole thing out. There's nothing but a bunch of heathens and sinners. You guys don't take the Bible seriously. He's gonna take the whole thing out, get your family out. Not for years, I've thought he's crazy, but you know what? To his point, I've been thinking about, the state of California does just catch on fire. All the time. I've been to every other state, none of them just combust 5 times a year. Something strange is going on. We don't even care. In Cal, we call it a season. It's fire season. Fire is not a season. It's not winter, spring, summer, fall. Fire. You don't walk outside like, oh, it's that type of year. Might come a fire anytime. I don't know. This place is out of control. This world we live in. Like this place next door here. Where you can, do you know these places where you can go? They're all over the country that you can go drink alcohol and throw axes. What could go wrong there? I can't believe that is an actual business. Like, we've all walked around our whole lives and seen other humans. Have you ever thought, I wish everyone had an axe to throw? Those places are insane. There's no training. You just walk in, they hand you an axe, you start throwing it. There should be a little bit of training. Like, not everyone can throw. You got to be coordinated to throw. Especially something like an axe. There should be a test before they give you an axe. Like, hey, here's a tennis ball. Won't you throw that at the wall? Let's see how that goes before we hand you history's scariest murder weapon to throw around. I think places like that is why we had COVID. I think it's a reckoning. I don't know who's in charge of us. I don't know if it's God or aliens. I don't know who it is, but they probably hadn't checked in on us in a while. Time works different. We're just one of their projects. Like, let me check out Earth, see what they're up to. What the Why are they just throwing axes around? Oh no, they started doing that a couple years ago. They're also buying farts in jars off the internet. Shut it down. Shut the whole thing. I don't care what you do. Make them sick. Just shut it down. And we're going to teach them a lesson. I want you to shut everything down and then hide all the toilet paper. See how much free time they have to throw axes when they're worried about their dirty butts.
So something I've learned is that a lot of people don't realize that comedians know how to not be comedians off stage. Like, some people just think we're always set to clown mode or something. Because a few years ago, my mom got sick and she was in the hospital for part of the time. And 3 weeks in, her doctor turns to me and goes, "So I heard you're a comedian." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Oh, just surprises me because I don't really get a funny vibe from you." And I was like, well, my mom's still in the hospital after 3 weeks, so I'm not really getting a great doctor vibe. I can be petty off the clock, too. I will do it for free. Also, what does a funny vibe look like to this guy? We're in a hospital. You think I'm gonna walk through the waiting room honking boobs like, hee 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 hee? It's like, people are bleeding out. You gotta clock out sometimes. But here's the thing. When my mom was in the hospital, she ended up getting diagnosed with dementia, which has, of course, been the most heartbreaking thing to go through. But she is so smart and so funny that even with dementia, she's still pretty crafty, like still tries to prank people. So she and my brother were talking. He thought it was going well. And then all of a sudden, she just starts shouting, "Nurse! Nurse!" And my brother's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I'm right here. What do you need?" The nurses come running in. They're like, "Kathy, oh my God, what's going on?" And my mom just goes, "Look how handsome my son is." I'm like, are you out of your good mind? You cannot be the mom who cried hot son. You're gonna get kicked out of the home. Because now I feel like next time she actually needs help, the nurse is just gonna pop her head around from 50 feet away and be like, "Oh, let me guess, Kathy, is your daughter funny? Is that what you're screaming at us for?" It'd be so great if she was like, she's okay. Not really get a funny vibe from her. Just want some apple juice.
Continental breakfast is a real piece of shit. Yeah, it is. Okay, if you need to leave, leave. Okay, because it's way more continental than it is breakfast. And I don't even know what continental means, but it has never not failed to disappoint me. You ever check into a hotel, they're like, "There's free breakfast down here in the morning." I'm like, "Oh my God, yes." They're like, "It's continental." I'm like, "I hope you and your family get into a car accident." Because all it is Earl Grey tea. Don't you put me on the elevator at 7 a.m. for Earl Grey. If you need to leave, leave. I'm gonna keep hitting you with the hard-hitting topics other comics will not touch. Radio Shack closed down. I'm fine with it. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm offending, but this is how you start a dialogue. You think the woman from Chicago stuck with me? I had an experience in a shack 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I walk into a shack, there was nobody in there as per usual. I walk in, there's one worker behind the counter. Are you getting what I'm saying? I walked into the structure, I doubled the amount of people. I make a beeline to the register. I said, "Excuse me, miss, do you have CD-ROMs?" She looked me in the face and went, "Psh." He said, "CD-ROMs." I was like, "Who are you talking to? Are you making fun of me to my face to no one? This CD-ROM purchase is gonna keep the lights on in here." 2 years later, they went out of business. I don't think it's a coincidence. If you need to leave, leave. No, I'm just getting warmed up. I got a bone to pick with all of you. Yeah, you thought you were safe? You're not. Because you're all guilty of something, and I really have had enough of it, okay? And this is what you guys do, and don't tell me you don't. You just all go about your lives, and you walk around every day, and you all agree to act like the first 2 rounds of Family Feud actually mean something. They don't. Everyone knows 3rd round is triple points for all the marbles. Nothing matters in the first 2 rounds, okay? If you can't take this heat, I'm sorry, but you all were warned. Your family can win the feud without answering one single correct question as long as you steal the very last question. What kind of snake oil is that? You don't even have to watch Family Feud. You could tune in with the 1 minute left and see all you need to see. Steve Harvey asked the grandmother June, name a food that has the word cheese in it. June's like, cheesecake? Ding, cheesecake. And now the Calhouns are going home with $5K they don't deserve. Yes, the grandmother's name is June Calhoun. Get over it. Would anyone like their money back? Suck it, I lied. Yeah, I will get them. Thank you so much. I'll tell you another thing I don't like about Family Feud. The celebration by these families at the end of the fast money round, it doesn't match the winnings. The families need to tone down the showboating right away. We got game shows giving away millions. This damn show has been the same prize for 23 years. I looked it up. It's $20,000. Split amongst 5 grown adults. Taxed. Less hotel and airfare. These families are coming on the Feud. They're dominating. Everybody's losing a few $100s. Women are up there kicking their heels off. Guys are flicking each other in the nuts. Steve Harvey's doing the Dougie for $1,900.
So now I live in Brooklyn, and yeah, I like it. Yeah, I know lots of Brooklyn people. So neighborhood's great. However, 3 months ago there was a shooting on our street. Nobody got hurt, but here's what happened. Someone came by in the middle of the night and shot 3 shots in 3 consecutive doorways. Boom, boom, boom. And just to give you an idea of the street, if they would have kept going, the next doorway would be a yoga studio. All right? So the yoga ladies went insane. They were like, this place has bad vibes! They were mad. And then the real estate agents were like, how are we gonna sell these apartments for millions of dollars now? And then the families were like, is this a safe place for our children? And everyone wanted to know what the shooter looked like. That's all they cared about. They were like, what does the shooter look like? What do we know about this guy? Was he black? Was he white? Hispanic? What do we know about this guy? What does he look like? And then news came back that the shooter was a woman. Yeah. And the conversation totally changed. Oh yeah. Everyone was like, oh, did she get him? I mean, clearly he had it coming, but did she get him? The yoga ladies were on board. They were like, we will finish the job, just whipping around their mats. The real estate agents were using it as marketing. They're like, the kind of street where a woman's in charge. Even the families were like, you can stand up for yourself like that woman did. She was a hero. And the only thing they cared about how the woman shooter looked was if she looked satisfied.
I hate moving. I don't know if anybody's moved recently. It sucks to move. I have a weird thing I realized this last move. I don't know how to properly dispose of a crucifix. Is this anything? I don't know what to do. How many of you were raised Catholic? Who was raised Catholic? And who's not anymore? What'd you do with all your old Jesuses? I don't know what to do with these Jesus. I have a Timberland work boot shoebox with 9 Jesuses. I have a baseball team of Jesuses that I've accumulated over the years. In a box in the back of my closet, and every time I move, I'm like, the Jesuses. I don't know what to do with them. I want to leave them in the next place I move from. So the people that move in are like, did a vampire hunter live here? Is this Van Helsing's old place? I don't know what to do with them. One guy told me throw them out. And I'm like, no, I'm not throwing out 9 Jesuses. I'm not religious, but I totally believe in bad luck. You know what I mean? If I throw out 9 Jesuses, when I die, he's gonna be the real one. Like, there's no way. Ain't gonna be Buddha or nothing. I'm gonna get up there, he's gonna be like, no room at the inn, dude. You threw out 9 of me. I want to carry him around with me, and like when a lady's bugging out at a coffee shop because there's too much like oat milk in her latte or whatever, just want to slide a Jesus to her. Like, looks like you need him more than I do right now, man. Just back my way out of there. If it was a Buddha, it's easy. You put it on the curb and a divorced white woman will build a yoga studio around it, you know? But nobody wants a jaybird.
I was reading an article about how scientists are trying to find a way so we can drive cars with our thoughts. Yeah, we need to stop these scientists. Because the thoughts that you have when you drive, these are not good thoughts. Someone cuts you off, then you're like, I like to end their life. And now your car's like, okay. The car and brain should not be connected, right? The car is fast and metal, the brain petty and vindictive. That's not the worst idea we have with cars, though. The worst idea is flying cars. Like, ever since I've been alive, we've had this fantasy about the future where, oh, we'll make cars fly and traffic will be better somehow. Can we stop this? This is a horrific idea. We've had regular land cars now for over 100 years. The verdict's in. We're not good at driving them. We crash into each other all the time. Like, round of applause if you trust other drivers. Just one person, anyone? That's with 4 directions. Forwards, backwards, left, and right. Now add up and down to the mix. How do you feel about that? Today's world, you get rear-ended. Flying cars, top-bottomed.
Immediately after our wedding, my wife and I, we went to our honeymoon. So we did it the day after. We didn't want any time to elapse. We wanted to ride it out. And we saved up some money and we went to Portugal. And we were flying out of Newark International Airport and we're in the line to board the plane. And then all of a sudden, so there's people from all over the world there. It was a very busy terminal. And then a voice comes over the loudspeaker and I just hear, boop. Yeah, we are very, very sorry. This is a very dirty airplane. This fly from Newark to Lisbon, it is a very, very dirty airplane. So we have dirt in the aisles, and we have oil in the carpets, so we have had to recall the cleaning crew for a second time to clean this dirty airplane. It is not fit for the skies, so we have recalled the cleaning crew for a second time. We apologize for the inconvenience. It will be delayed for 20 minutes. Boop. And I look at my wife, I'm like, I fly a lot for work. I've never had a plane not take off because it was too dirty. But okay, we were still riding off the high of our wedding. We were so excited, wasn't gonna bum us out or anything. Then 20 minutes later, we hear, boop. Yeah, this is a very, very, very dirty airplane. There is gum in the armrests. So we have had to recall the cleaning crew for a third time. We apologize for inconvenience. This flight has been delayed another 20 minutes. We apologize for inconvenience. Boop. And I'm like, how dirty is this plane? What happened in there? What is going on? And then for the first time, I saw my wife's spirits start to dip, which really broke my heart because it was really important for me for her to have an amazing honeymoon. So to cheer her up, I started making fake announcements in the line in that guy's voice as to why the plane was too dirty to take off. Boop. Yeah, this is a dirty, naughty, filthy, dirty little airplane. This is a nasty bird. There are rats. This plane has been overcome by rats. They are massive rats, nutria rats. So we have had to arm the cleaning crew with rifles to take out, to shoot these rats on sight, execute the rats. So we apologize for inconvenience. We must grab the rifles, arm the cleaning crew. They have been recalled and commissioned into service for a 5th time. We apologize for inconvenience. This flight has been delayed 20 minutes. Boop. Boop. Oh, f*** me. Okay. Do not shoot the messenger, and I am saying that to the cleaning crew because they are armed right now. These rats have built a in the doorway
I apologize. What is American word for sticks in big wall? I'm sorry, a dam, not a. I apologize. Okay. They've built a dam, and we have actually executed the rats, but we have also identified the rats as food source. The previous flight was filled with people with the celiac disease. And as a courtesy to the celiacs, we passed out the Nutri-Grain gluten-free Nutri-Grain bars. Now, you know how crummy the normal Nutri-Grain bars are? Well, you use the almond flour in those suckers, and they are ass crumbs. They are filled with crumbs. So, we have had to recall the cleaning crew for a 6th time. We apologize for inconvenience. This fight has been delayed another 20 minutes. Boop. Boop. Okay, so crazy development. The plane is clean. That is the good news. The bad news, we have a pedophile ghost in the bathroom. Now, you might be wondering, how does pedophile ghosts get locked in the bathroom? That is a great question. We have great answers. So, there was a flight in 2017 going from Newark International Airport to the Austin International Airport, Bergstrom. And the flight had to make an emergency air landing, excuse me, it's English as a second language. And it made an emergency landing in the Orlando, Florida airport. And upon finding out that they were landing at Disney World, the perverts had a heart attack and died in the bathroom. So we have had to call in a shaman, a shop person, and be we are very progressive on these airplanes. It is a shop person. We have called them in from the Shreveport, Louisiana, and unfortunately we do have no direct flight, so this shop person will not get here until tomorrow, and by then the plane will be damned, so we must bury the plane underneath 500 feet of sand. We apologize for the inconvenience, this flight has been canceled.
It doesn't matter where I go, as soon as people find out that I'm a New Yorker, they feel compelled to tell me how they feel about New York. Right? Like, I don't ask. But they always tell me, and it's usually some cliche thing, they'll be like, New Yorkers are mean. And here's the thing, we're not mean, we're aggressively kind. Right? We're very misunderstood. I always tell people, get lost in New York City, the first person that will help you is a New Yorker. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, because we can't stand lost-looking people. Like, we hate your lost-looking faces. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We see them at right at the subway map, just like, Is it uptown? Is it downtown? What's Midtown? Literally the middle. I just picture them like panicked at the map, and then like out of the darkness, they hear a voice. Where you trying to go? That is one word in New York City. Where you trying to go? No breaks. You've been looking at the map for 5 minutes. Where you trying to go? I'm trying to help you get out of my way. You've been in my way 5 minutes. Look at this map.
I'm getting older, which means my parents are obviously getting older. They've retired now, and if you don't have retired parents, basically what that means is that now I call them up on the phone, and they've been answering the phone as a team. I don't know why that started, but they're just like, the phone's ringing? Well, we better both hop on this. Who knows who's calling? What?
Just hello, hello, you're on speaker. Why? Why am I on speaker? Every time I call them, I'm on speaker. I'm like, Dad, why am I on speaker? He's like, anything you can say to me, you can say in front of your mother. Is she your attorney? Why is counsel present? What's happening? My dad's getting a little paranoid. He's always had a gun to protect the house, which is a fine reason. He wants to protect the house from home invaders. But now it's starting to feel like he really is rooting for a home invader. Like, it's never been this bad. But one time in high school, I ordered a pizza, and I didn't tell my dad that I had ordered the pizza. And my dad answered the door with the gun. So, free pizza. That's a true story. That's a true story of a teenager that just said, I don't need this job. All right. Cool, man. I got a math test or something. I don't know. It's not even a large, dude. Just take it. But he does have a gun to protect the house, and it's a little uncomfortable because last time I was visiting him, my wife and I were visiting, and we were going out. And my dad's like, you're going out this late? I'm like, it's 8 p.m. He goes, you're going out this late. Listen, if you're going to go out this late, just make sure to text before you come back in the house, because, I got the gun. Yeah, or just remember what your son looks like. It's great to know that I'm just one missed text away from being shot by my own father. What happened to Ryan? Oh, he was living dangerously. Got home at 9:45 p.m., shot dead by his own dad. You think I'm breaking in? What thief uses the garage code? Nobody breaking in greets the cats. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I thought you were someone else. I have your face. Just don't shoot your own face. He's just getting weird. When I was there, he pulled me aside. He goes, I need to ask you something. Listen, I want to be buried in the backyard. Like now or what exactly? But that's what he wants. He wants to be buried in the backyard. His exact words were, I want to be buried in the backyard. That's illegal. Don't tell your mother. Got it. So the game plan is you die, we hide your body, and then lie to your wife of 38 years until she's dead. Is that the plan? Is that the plan? That's good. You did not think this through in any way. Like, what happens if we have to sell the house? How about that? Just someone's checking it out like, hey, what's up with that really bright patch of grass in the backyard? Oh, we don't talk about the bright patch of grass in the backyard. Just a really good 3-foot by 6-foot plot of soil. That's all that is. Don't worry why that tree grows so well. It's just good soil in that rectangle. Also, you can never have a pool. I want to be buried in the backyard. That's illegal. Don't tell your mother. And I was like, you really want to be buried in the backyard? He goes, yeah, I just want to make it easy on you kids. Yep, nothing easier than digging my own father's grave and then lying to my mother for the rest of her life. I'm covered in dirt. I'm crying. My mom's like, have you seen your father? No, but maybe just water the lawn or something. I don't know. That'll cheer you up. I called my dad up and I asked him for the Hulu password. And he goes, no. Not over the phone. Not the Hulu password? Not the Hulu password. No, you never know who's listening. You think a hacker wants to watch Shrek with commercials that badly that they're hacking your phone conversations? I don't know how much spy equipment costs. I'm pretty sure it's more than $5.99 a month. No hacker wants to listen to my parents' phone conversation. No one's that concerned about how the cats are doing. that they're hacking my parents' phone. They're just, why are we on speaker? But that's how old men are. Old men are very protective of their information. My father-in-law won't give me his Wi-Fi password. My father-in-law. It was easier to marry this man's daughter than to get the Wi-Fi password. To this day, if my computer forgets the network, he will pull my computer aside, turn his shoulder, and type it in one by one. If he can find his little book. That's the old guy security system. Tiny book, tiny writing, that book, always lost. Tiny book, tiny writing, open the front door, just chuck it inside. No one's getting this password, not even me.
So Jesus got all the headlines, and Jesus got all the merch. Let's face it. I've never been wearing a cross and had someone come up to me and go, which guy was that? Was that the horse thief? Now, miss, have you been to Israel? Not yet. Well, I went over there before the dark times. Did I learn Hebrew? No, I didn't. But I looked at it a lot. And the language of Hebrew just looks like somebody is repeatedly trying to draw a footstool. Over and over again. It just looked like footstool, half a footstool, one leg of a footstool, footstool flipped over, footstool, footstool, one leg of a footstool, flipped over footstool, half a footstool, one leg of a footstool, footstool, half a footstool. I just wish you guys a happy Easter. In Hebrew, I just wish you guys a happy Easter. I think Jesus had a bad lawyer. Because it was after his trial, and he's waiting for the verdict, and his lawyer comes back and goes, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Which would you like first? And Jesus goes, I'm about the good news, so give me the good news. And the lawyer goes, they've decided on crucifixion. And Jesus goes, that's the good news? What's the bad news? The lawyer goes, the bad news is the Romans have a union, and the union has a contract with the state to perform the crucifixion. But they do not have a contract with the state to carry the cross to the crucifixion site. Jesus goes, why are you telling me this? The lawyer goes, they want to pay you a non-union wage to carry the cross, Jesus goes to the lawyer, he goes, who are these people that are doing this to me? And the lawyer goes, they're the Romans, but later they will become Italians. And if it matters, in the future, they're gonna be way into you. They're really super into your birthday. And they're gonna put nativity scenes with your whole family on their front lawn. And if anybody messes with them, they'll flip out and it'll make the newspaper. And Jesus goes, Italians, huh? Well, how about this? Everybody in their ethnicity, all the men in their ethnicity have hair on their back for the rest of eternity. All their women have mustaches. All their kids live with their parents until they're 40. And when they do move out, they move next door. How's that? Is that fun? Tell them it's from the King of the Jews.
My dad's the guy who, during an action scene, he is counting the amount of bullets coming out of a gun for accuracy. And the second they go over the allotted amount of bullets for that type of gun, he has something to say about it. You think you're just watching a movie. He's silently fact-checking. Ah, come on. 47 bullets and a Glock. This isn't real. Really, Dad? The bullets is what made it not real? Not the zombies they were shooting?
I grew grew up a little bit sheltered. I think I was one of those kids that played by myself. I had a big imagination. I grew up in Kentucky. I was around horses. I always wanted to be like a cowgirl, right? But my cousins always made fun of me because they were a lot more country than me. They said I was a city kid because I grew up on a cul-de-sac. And I will say, though, we had different childhoods. Okay, the biggest difference between a country kid and a city kid is the country kids, they grow up with farm animals, right? And they're a lot more exposed to the circle of life. Like city kids were a lot more sheltered. Like, when we have a pet, we put we'll put a little sweater on them. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh. And country kids, they put butter on theirs. And they eat it, okay? Country kids, they see death before breakfast. And then they have that death for breakfast. I remember even recently, I went to my cousin's farm that she's raising her 3 kids on, and I was talking to Knox, that's her oldest kid. He's 6. He's telling me how he's helping his daddy with the baby calves. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool, Knox. What are you doing? You helping feed bottles? And he goes, no, I gotta throw rocks at the buzzards. Because when the calves are born, the buzzards like to stroke around up top, and then they dive down and they peck the calves' eyeballs till they can't see no more, and then they can't nurse, and then after a few days they starve to death. Then the buzzards get to eat them for supper, so I got the rocks to the buzzards because Daddy says the government won't let us shoot the bastards. I was like, yeah, I get it. No, I did the same thing, man. When I was your age, I had to feed my gerbil, so. And one time it disappeared, and my mom was like, don't worry, you just gotta shed its winter coat. And sure enough, next day it reappeared, a whole new color. I had this like little brown boy gerbil. Next day, white girl rabbit. What's up?
You know, you're 14, that summer when you're 14 and you don't have a job. Dads just hate it. They hate it. He's up there sleeping. Not working. Up there farting around playing his video games. Get a job. Get a job. He was like, you gotta get a job. I was like, how am I gonna get a job? I'm 14. I think it's illegal. He's like, you're gonna print off some resumes and then hand them out to businesses. I was like, resumes? What am I gonna put in the resume? Never had a job. I kid you not. He made me print off a big stack of resumes. All they said on it was, raked Judith Hoy's leaves. From October 1995 to October 1995. A banner career. And then he would just, on the way to work, he'd drop me off in different parts of Ottawa and just be like, there's some businesses there. And give me bus fare to bus home. And it wasn't just like restaurants. He'd like go to an office tower and be like, go up there. Like an office? I don't know what kind of Depression era economy you think this is. I remember, this is a true story, what I'm about to tell you. I remember this. He was like, oh, they're having some businesses. And I remember I got in the elevator and I was like, I don't know, 6. Maybe the best businesses are on 6. And then the the doors opened, and I got out, and there was a secretary there, and she's like, "Hello," and I was like, "Hi," and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "I'd like a job." She goes, "Okay. Where would you like a job?" I'm like, "Here." She goes, "Here." I go, "Yes, here." She goes, "You want a job here?" I'm like, "Yes." I kid you not, she said this. She goes, "But this is the unemployment office." I like randomly walked into the unemployment office, didn't read what it was, and was like, "I'm a little boy, I break leaves. Give me a job."
I was sitting on my couch and a tooth dropped out of my mouth. Just dropped out of my mouth. I wasn't eating or drinking anything, just plop. Yeah, I thought like as you get older, things start to ache, like joints or your back hurts. No, stuff just falls off. Just fall by, just falls off. And the thing, when you go to the dentist and you're 18, it's much different than when you go on the dark side of your 30s, because when you go, you're 18 years old, they want to fix you up. They said, "Let me put a tooth in there, let's fix this up, get new siding, move that bus, go on and smile, Madison, live your life." When you go in there, like I go in there, it's sad. The dentist is just like, sees that hole and says, "Do you want to just leave it? Like, just leave the hole?" Do you even smile that much at your age? I just miss getting paid to lose my teeth. When I was a kid, I was paid to lose my teeth. And I found out that I have a broke tooth fairy because I would lose a tooth and then the tooth fairy would just put a check for $1 under my pillow. And then when I wake up, my mom's like, "Hey, do you mind not cashing that till Friday?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have a bank account, Mom. I'm 6.
I eat a lot when I'm stressed. Oh my God, you should see what I eat. It is such junk. I love sugar, cookies, cake, ice cream. If I were to come over to your house and you brought out a platter of warm, homemade chocolate chip cookies, which I would expect, I would eat every single one of those cookies with no embarrassment. Even online, when they go, "Accept cookies?" Yeah, I accept cookies. And I accept milk. My wife looked at me the other day. She goes, "Those pants are looking a little tight on you, those jeans." I said, "Yeah, because you got the heat up too high on the dryer." She goes, "No, I think you got the stack of cookies up too high on your plate." Yeah, I mean, it's salt. I love salt too. Popcorn. Who doesn't like popcorn? You ever been eating popcorn at somebody's house and start wondering if their popcorn bowl was also their throw-up bowl? Because it is our house. Bagels, I like bagels. I like to order the everything bagel and then ask the server to put the everything on the side. Because I may not want all of the everything, I may want some of the everything. Alcohol, not so much for me. A couple glasses of wine once in a while, but not so much. My friend Steve had a big problem with drinking. Oh my God, Steve, he really hit rock bottom and we were really concerned and we loved him. So we decided that we would do an intervention. And I have never been part of an intervention on this side before. You know what I'm saying? And the night we were gonna go over there, we were all so nervous, we started having a few drinks. You know what I mean? And then a few more after that. And by the time I got to his house, I was so wasted. He was my designated driver to get me home. But the intervention did take place about a month later, but it was for me this time. Do you know what the most stressful job in the world is? Air traffic controller. But not if you don't take it seriously. I grind my teeth at night now. I grind my teeth. Any teeth grinders here? I could hear them. I could hear your teeth grinding. I gotta wear a night guard at night. And a retainer on the bottom. Sexy. And get this, 6 months ago I found out I have sleep apnea. So now I gotta wear this full face mask with a hose pumping air in and out, on top of the night guard and the retainer, and probably a few cookies in there.
I was just in Mexico. Yeah. I ate ants. Yeah. The insects, not lady uncles. It was at a restaurant. I wasn't just bored at a picnic. And it was a prefix menu, like you don't order. They were just bringing us tacos. First course was chicken tacos. It's a crowd pleaser. Second course, they're like, these are ant tacos. I'm like, what is happening right now? Before the meal, they asked us if we had any allergies or food restrictions, but I didn't know how far back I had to take that. They're like, these are ants. I'm like, I also don't eat loose nickels or urinal cakes. Just to be crystal clear, now that I see what you're capable of. And if you guys were me and my wife, the chef was standing right there. So we felt like we had to eat them, you know? We didn't want to be ugly Americans. So I got a mouthful of bugs. I'm pretending it's not ants, but the chef wouldn't let us forget that it was ants. He kept telling us, he was like, they're big and juicy, and we cut off their heads in the rain. And I'm like, ha ha, say less. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be culturally insensitive, but everybody knows eating ants is weird. You know how I know? The whole planet agrees to call one of our animals the anteater. Have you seen that thing? It's like a low-to-the-ground hairy elephant. That's probably what we were gonna call it. And someone was like, hold up. Check out what this freaky is eating. You know what I mean? Its diet is the headlining oddity. And it was an ant and clam taco. That's correct. That's the correct response. Ant and clam. I've never eaten something and looked for refuge in the flavor of clam. Got a mouthful of carpenters. I'm like, look for the clam! Clam will save us from this zinky nightmare. Clam, the condom of the ocean. King Neptune's chewy prophylactic. I'm like, it's our only hope! Same night, my first night in Mexico, I got stung by a scorpion. Yeah, big bug day. It was in my bed. Isn't that freaky? It was in the bed. Yeah, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. It just felt scratchy. I was asleep. I remember thinking, what's the thread count of these sheets? I whip open the covers. I get my flashlight out. There's a dead scorpion in the bed. Yeah, got him. That's a weird feeling. Coursing with scorpion venom. I'm like, I gotta wake up Val. Gotta wake up my wife, because I don't know if I'm gonna be around. That's a weird consideration when you're like, I'm about to be playing the part of the body. So let's get someone else in this narrative. So I used my big boy voice. I didn't know I had a big boy voice. I found it in a crisis. I talked to my wife real sweet. That morning I was like, Valerie, I've been attacked. She's like, ah! She woke up straight away. I went out on the balcony. It got me 4 times on the ankle. Yeah, good empathy. So I elevated it. That was my idea. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know if that was helping or just draining the poison straight to my corazon. And my wife is a really sweet, non-confrontational person. Even in an emergency, it turns out. Because I'm out there elevating it. I can hear her on the phone with the front desk. I'm not making this up. She's like, hi, buenos dias, buenos dias. Yes, it is a beautiful day here in Mexico. Oh, no, you go. You go. Okay, I'll go. One of us is dying. It was like... They sent a doctor right away. I was like, how often does this happen? He came out onto the balcony. He didn't speak any English. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm not making this up. I go, ¿Cuántos minutos yo tengo? ¿Cuántos minutos para yo? ¿Es ahora el tiempo para adiós siempre? ¿El grande sueño para mí? He didn't speak any English. He had a real thick accent. I'm not going to do his accent. Nice try. You're not taking me down for a questionable voice. But you know what he sounded like. I'll tell you what he said. You can add it up here. You can't get canceled up here. And you know what he sounded like, you racist. You know just what he sounded. He goes, in 24, I'm kind of doing it. I don't know why. He goes, in 24 hours, you will be dead. That's what he said. Stay thirsty, my friends. That's what he said. And they got in their golf cart, they sailed off. They said they had to get the anti-venom shot. I was like, you could have brought it. We told you what happened. You could have brought it. And I was laying there, and I was really worried I was going to die. But I was equally worried that I'm a comedian. And I grew up in the 90s playing video games. And I'm a silly, silly fun boy. So I knew, yeah. So I knew there was a real risk that I'd have like a dumb death, like a stupid death. Like I'd be fading out and I'd just look at my wife and be like, Scorpion wins. You know what I mean? Like a dumb joke. As I'm passing away, just like, fatality. It is a fatality. And I die. I can't have my last meal be ants. There's no 13th floor in my hotel in Mexico. No 13th floor in my hotel here in town. Isn't that weird? I think it's crazy. In this day and age, we still skip the 13th floor because it's an unlucky floor. Same with hospitals. There's no room 13. Same with airplanes. There's no 13th row. Isn't that nuts? I think it's weird. I know people that complain that transgender people relax. You're gonna like it. Look at my friendly open face. We're going to safe pastures. You're gonna like this one. I think it's funny. I know people that complain that transgender people make up such a small percentage of the population, but they get special treatment. But I know a lot of transgender people. I don't know a single person who's afraid to stay on the 13th floor of a hotel. And we've been bending over backwards for these psychos for hundreds of years. Is this a big problem? A lot of time-traveling pilgrims staying at the Best Western? Like we have you on the 13th floor. Oh, hell nay you do. That's the Lucifer level. So you see in the elevator, if you look at the buttons, it goes 12, 14. You realize if it goes 12, 14, the 14th floor is the 13th floor. It just identifies as the 14th floor. And we're all totally fine with it, see? We'll get there. I've noticed that the people that have the hardest time changing people's pronouns based on their gender identities, the people that struggle with that the most, are the same people that get really mad if you call their truck a car. It's just an observation. It's the same group. Like, let's take your car. It's a truck! Okay, Jesus Christ. Just saw a windshield and 4 tires. I just assumed. Oh, now I gotta remember that to make you feel safe? Fuck you, Chad. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a truck, and it's a he, him. Look, I put a ball sack on the hitch. I've misgendered people in my life. It's a terrible feeling. That's not a joke. It's horrible. I hate it. So I have a new rule. If I don't know you, I don't care how you present. I don't call anyone sir or ma'am. I just call everyone my friend. If I don't know you, just call you my friend. Hasn't happened since. It's nice. It works. Yeah. The only problem is now I sound like a Saudi Arabian car dealer. My friend, my friend, my friend. Good car, white BMW, my friend. It's funnier because some of you clapped. It's funnier. Lifting up one group, pushing down another for no reason. I don't know why. It's comedy. It's the best we can do.
Finally got a chance to hear the music of Keith Urban. I thought to myself, gee, this guy might want to change his name to Keith Rural, if you know what I mean. But boy, there's a lot of women in music these days, don't you think? A lot of women in music. I love it. I think it's great. Listen, believe me. I think it's terrific. I heard this story because I'm in the industry. I get some of these inside stories, kind of cool. I heard this. I couldn't believe it was true. This young musician, she was, I guess, just starting out, and she was in the studio, and she was singing her song, and she couldn't get a sense of the tempo. You know, she couldn't get a sense of whether it should be too fast or too slow. She didn't know what was going on. So she was young. She said to the producer or the engineer, whoever it was, in the behind the board, you know, and she said, can you help me here with the pace of this? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? And the engineer, he doesn't know, right? He's just pushing buttons, right? So he goes to the producer who's sitting next to him, or manager, we don't know. And he says, what should I tell her here? You know, what should we say? And he goes, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. Tell her to play the song swiftly. Yeah. And then, of course, Lady Gaga's out there doing her thing. How many Lady Gaga fans do we have here tonight? I'll count myself. I think what she's doing is important and cool. And I love Lady Gaga. But what's next? Lord Goo Goo?
I hate going through airport security because every time I go, I have to go through that big full body machine. You know, the one where you pose for 3 seconds and then it tells you if you're a terrorist or not. But I don't know if you know this, when you go through that machine, the agent actually has to pick your gender. That's how the machine works. So since I look like me, he picks male. Then I go through the machine, and then he's like, we got to do it again. I'm like, what do you mean we have to do it again? Okay, you messed up. I feel like you just have to do it again. Yeah, even if I was carrying a bomb, just let me keep it, okay? That's good customer service. So they make me go through the machine twice, so I'm getting cancer twice as fast. Very fun. But usually when I go through the first time, the machine will go off, so the guy comes over, he starts patting me down. I don't say anything because it's 9 a.m, I'm tired, also it does nothing for me. So he starts patting me down, and at right about here, he realizes that he's wrong. Then you can just see the color drain from his face. He's like, oh my God, this might be sexual harassment. And that just makes my day, okay? Because he thinks I'm gonna sue him. I'm not. But you don't know that. I just walk away and I wave and I wink, you know? It's like a fun little game I like to play.
It's also nice to be traveling more, but I realize I do not know how to travel like a normal person. I was going through TSA, and the TSA lady was checking the waistband of my jeans, and she had her hands in the waistband of my jeans, and I thought that that was a good time to tell her that I liked the way her perfume smelled. Not a good time. One thing that happened, there was a teenage girl in line ahead of me at security, and they stopped her to search her backpack because something went off in the machine. And so the TSA guy, he searched around it, and he pulled out the thing that went off, and it was a magic 8-ball. This is totally true. And he told her, he was like, well, technically this is a blunt object, and it could be used as a weapon, so I'm not sure if you can bring it in your carry-on, and I need to go get my supervisor. So they brought over like 2 or 3 more TSA agents. They were all looking at this magic 8-ball, trying to decide what to do. And I was in line behind her, losing my mind, because I was like, just ask the magic 8-ball. You guys are fun. I've been around a lot of comedy audiences, not just for stand-up. I was a waitress in a comedy club for a really long time. And you guys might think, just based on the media and what you've seen about the world we live in, you might think that the worst hecklers are middle-aged straight men. But I can tell you for a fact that is not true. The worst hecklers by far are female teachers on a night out. They all order Chardonnay and they get mouthy. That's what they do. And every now and again, I'll be saying this, and there'll be a woman in the back, and she'll yell out, she'll be like, I'm a teacher, and I'm drinking whiskey. I'm like, well, then you are a middle school teacher. That's how we know what you're drinking. Are you guys drinking? Are people drinking? Yeah? Do you guys know that drink White Claw? You familiar? White Claw? Yeah, it's named after the kinds of hands that hold it. Do you guys... What pisses me off about White Claw is it's trendy now for alcohol to be healthy. Like it's not bad for you, it's a seltzer. There are all these hard seltzers, and they've got vodka with electrolytes in it now. And everyone's on board, and no one was on board when I was in college, and I offered them my homemade sangria, which was just red wine mixed with Emergency. And I could get on Shark Tank with that now. I would like to be on Shark Tank. It'd be nice to make a little extra money. I'm a very broke person. Very broke. I go to Coinstar a lot. Are you guys familiar? Yeah. Do you guys think that this would be a good slogan for Coinstar? Coinstar, be poor loudly. Thank you for applauding Coinstar. It's the only applause Coinstar's ever received, so.
A couple of weeks ago, my young niece, she didn't feel well, and my sister took her temperature with a laser gun. Beep, you seen the laser gun? Beep, yeah, you seen it? Yeah. Mm. Where was that technology in the 70s? There was a planet full of children that could have used that technology in the 70s. And I see young people in the audience, and I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you know what we went through. But when you sneezed, or when you had the sniffles when I was little, they had to get up your ass very quickly. Nobody talks about that. I feel like it didn't need to happen. No one talks about it. Let's talk about it now. I don't know why the common cold in the 70s was so closely related to sodomy. I don't know why my word to my mother that I didn't feel well wasn't good enough for her. Like I said, when you sneezed in 1978, it got real weird real fast. I used to sneeze in the closet for fear of retaliation. Seriously, I was like, you are never getting me. I will eat an apple every day and I will sneeze amongst these coats. For the younger people, this is how it would go down when I was younger. My mom would feel my forehead and be like, he feels hot. And then my dad would be like, yeah, but how hot? Hear me out. Why don't we stick this glass rod up his hole? Really get to the bottom of it. At that point, you are doing more damage than the cold. Common cold goes away 2-3 days. Forced penetration sticks around. I feel like we needed one reasonable adult in the 70s that could have changed the course of history for us. Just one to be like, you know what, I felt his forehead, he feels warm. Good enough for me. I swear to you, I felt like I had a gaggle of adults around me at all times, like, you need to penetrate this sick little boy now, or we'll never know if he needs a cough drop. Now bend the boy over, stick the mercury up his hole against his will, or how will we know if he needs plenty of liquids? I know some of you are saying, what about under the tongue? No, I was one of 4, okay? I don't know who was reamed prior. You start with hole, you stick with hole. Under the tongue is no longer an option. It's a glorious time for temperatures, so soak it up, really soak it up. Because one day my children are not gonna know what I went through, and I thought about it, and I do not think that is fair. So I will split the difference. I will take their temperature using the laser gun, but I will shove that up there.
I feel very lucky nowadays. I've got really lovely friends. And I feel very, very lucky for that. Because I grew up without many friends at all, really. I found making friends at school very, very difficult. And I think it's because I was hiding who I was. I couldn't really be myself. I was always on edge. I was worried that people were going to find out something about me. So I never really had any mates. But don't worry, there's not been any sort of lasting damage. It's not like I've got to go on stage 5 times a week to make strangers laugh, to make me feel full. It's not like that. It's not like that. Once a week, it's not like that. You don't need to worry. There was one girl at school that picked on me every single day. She picked on me every day. Now, I mentioned before, I know I'm not a super famous person, I've got a low level of fame, but occasionally I pop up on the telly. And every single time I pop up on the telly, this girl that picked on me the whole way through school slides into my DMs. Like, oh, hi, Suze, how are you doing? Great to see how well you're doing. I saw you on Mastermind last night. Well done. Oh, my God, next time you're in Portsmouth, me and you, we should go for a drink. Like, yeah, we should. It'll be arsenic. She was horrible to me. But now, because she's started following me, I've started following her. And apparently when you follow someone you don't like, it's called hate following. Everyone that's just laughed are the bitches in the room. They've just really outed themselves. Hey, that one that clapped is the Queen bitch. No, don't worry, I'm not knocking you, I'm doing it too, okay? It's not big, it's not clever, okay? But it means when you just go on their page occasionally, just go, can I hate you? Done up your lounge, have you? Grey, is it? Living, laughing, loving. Are ya? Sailing Dunelm, was there? You know. But I've now become slightly obsessed by her life. It's not grown up. This isn't a suggestion. Don't do this. I'm just telling you what I've done. A lot of her posts are about her husband, about how wonderful he is. She's got this wonderful husband. And it's not because they're straight. Like, I love straight people. You heard that before. Mum and Dad are straight. I love straight people. And honestly, some of my best friends are bisexual, so I do love straight people. But she'll put up these pictures of her husband, all in black and white, being like, he's the salt to my pepper. He's the bread to my butter. He's my light in the darkness. He's my husband. But she constantly tries to virtue signal. Now, I'm not talking about people sharing important information that we all need to learn about. She is constantly wanting to tell people that she is a good person, because she is the devil. She's constantly trying to tell people that she's a great person. One of the ways that she does this, and I've got to be very careful with this material because my audience are always lovely people, so I mean it with love. But she needs to let everyone know that her pets are from a rescue centre. I'm just going to say one thing. Once you've rescued your dog, it's just your dog. You don't need to refer to it as a rescue dog. It's just a dog. It's your dog now. You've rescued it. Well done. We're all very proud. She does the same about her cats. Look at my cats. Look at my adopted cats. Look at my little adopted cats. I adopted all of them. If I hadn't adopted these cats, they'll be out on the Edgware Road turning tricks. Look, I adopted these cats. All cats are adopted. Even if you paid for your cat, you adopted your cat. No one is birthing cats. No one's having a litter of cats. If you are, leave this show, go to the Natural History Museum, it's just down the road.
I'm from Virginia. I know, you guys are like, what? We thought you were from Paris. Yeah, don't let this chic outfit fool you. I'm from Virginia. And my dad's job in Virginia, my dad paints the lines on the road. Yeah, paints the line. Yeah, I don't want to say street artist, but, you know. My dad's Banksy, so, yeah. He loves it. He loves his job. He's very proud of his work. If you've been in Virginia, you've seen it, you know. And this is my favorite story ever. He calls me back when the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was happening. Okay, he calls me. He's so excited. He's like, Courtney, you seen this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial? And I was like, yeah, but why are you calling me about this? I swear to God, he goes, well, guess who painted the parking lot of the courthouse? You ain't the only one who's famous now, girl. He kept sending me pictures. Ignore Johnny Depp. Look how straight those lines are. He's the best. He's the best. He's a very manly man, very macho guy, very, Irish Catholic and Southern. We don't talk about anything, okay? Nothing. And so when I started going to therapy, I told my dad I was going to therapy. And my dad was like, okay, all right. Is it helping you? And I go, yeah, therapy's helping me, all right. He goes, okay, you tell your therapist I owe him a beer when I get up there. Okay, that's very nice, okay. And then I swear to God, he goes, or in apple martini. Yeah, that's a gay joke. Yeah. That's how masculine my dad is. He's like, any man thinking about his feelings must have a sweet tooth. You know what I mean? Me and my husband, we got him a bidet for Christmas. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We got him a bidet last Christmas, okay? And when he opened this thing, he looked at us like we were trying to turn him gay. He was like, what? He opens it. Okay, this Christmas, guess who has a bidet in every bathroom of the house? Yeah, and guess who's gay? Oh! Love wins! Thank you.
I just don't know why old guys are so protective of their information. I'm not like that. I don't know if it's a generational thing or what it is, but I'm like, I've realized that if you want my social security number, all you got to do is ask twice. That's it. Like when you're at the dentist and you have to fill out the form and they're like, social security number. Every time I get that, I'm like, ugh, I don't want it. And I go to the desk and I go, yeah, I don't want it. They're like, we really need it. I'm like, all right, well. Ryan, why's your identity stolen? Well, they said they really needed it. I don't know. I had such bad insurance in my 20s that my social security number is everywhere in Brooklyn. It is just everywhere. Like, I went to so many dentists in my 20s. At one point, I didn't even go to the dentist. I walked in, and then immediately I walked out because I got there, and the dentist was wearing jeans. It's like, look, dude, I know my insurance is bad. Could you at least pretend to be a real doctor? Like jeans at the dentist? Like what? I'm here for medical treatment, not advice on a used motorcycle. What are we doing here? It wasn't slacks, it wasn't khakis, it wasn't even cargo shorts where I could be like, oh, maybe that's where he keeps his little tools, is in the pocket. No, he goes, what's up? You can call me Dan. Absolutely not. Not Dr. Dan. Not Dan the dentist, just Dan. Sorry, Dan, I'm not going to a dentist that looks like he uses the phrase, my bad. No, thank you. Not interested. When I did get married, my father-in-law pulled me aside and he was very sweet about it. He goes, Ryan, I just want to let you know, we now really feel like you're a part of the family. And I had no idea how to tell him that I really preferred to be a guest. It's great to be a guest. Everyone's nice to the guest. No one is nice to their family. Like, when you're a guest, all you have to do is eat and smile. That's it. That's all you got to do. If you're in the family and all you do is eat and smile, people are like, does he have a condition? What's going on here? As a guest, you don't have to help out. As a family, you got to help out. You got to remember people's names. You got to know what to do with your towel. As a guest, I just threw it in the yard. I was like, I don't know. That's a family problem right there. Weird family, got a lot of towels in the yard. Very real weird stuff. My father-in-law asked me to carve the turkey at Thanksgiving. I don't know how to carve a turkey. I'm not qualified to carve a turkey. Don't ask me to carve your turkey. This is your house, your turkey. I'm just here. If I'm going to carve the turkey, everyone here is calling me daddy. That's what we're doing here. I'm not qualified to carve your turkey, okay? Like, the only reason I'm even at this dinner is because 5 years ago, I wanted to sleep with your daughter. I am not qualified to carve your turkey. But now, look at me. I got a big knife in a YouTube video. Just, what are we doing here? Who wants dark meat? It's all dark now. I messed this thing up. It's just real squishing turkey meat left and right. And what's the Wi-Fi password?
Such a wild thing, man. And people in New York, like, here's the thing about New York City. Like, if you have a bad time in New York City, I feel like that's because you didn't know the rules before you got here. You gotta know the rules before you get here, man. Every city has rules, right? And one of the cardinal rules of New York City, mind your business. It should say that when you land in New York. Welcome to New York, mind your business. Right? That's what forget about it means. It means forget what you just saw. Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but what happens in New York never happened. Why are you snitching? Like, why would you say anything? I had to teach my husband this lesson. My husband is a white boy from the Midwest. Thank you so much. I'm a Puerto Rican girl from the South Bronx, man. Like, I know we got Puerto Ricans here. Hey. Yeah. What up, probably my cousins? I'm just saying, let's do a 23andMe later and get weird. That's the thing, I'm not gonna lie to you. As a Puerto Rican girl from the South Bronx, I didn't think I could bag a white boy from the Midwest. I thought I was too aggressive. Because I don't know how to soft flirt. You know what I mean? Like, you know how some girls can like really cute flirt? Not me. I'm New York aggressive with it. I'd be like, yo, I like you, son. You trying to do this? Hey, yo, you trying to smash? Turns out he liked it. He was like, I'm scared, I'm gonna follow her. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man, moving from the Midwest to New York, what a culture shock. I couldn't start him in the South Bronx, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't. That's not a starter borough, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's... Right? We don't start people in the Bronx, we end them. Don't shoot the messenger. Although we do, we shoot the messenger. Nobody getting messages. But we found a nice starter borough, Astoria, Queens, great starter borough, right? We moved there, man, I showed him all the artisan coffee shops. I was like, look, your people did that. We moved to this nice, quiet neighborhood, or so we thought, till one day we were driving around and a fight broke out in the middle of the street. 2 grown men started beating the crap out of each other. And my sweet Midwestern husband was like, oh no. I should do something. I was like, if you don't roll up your window right now, I'll fist fight you myself. I was like, what you gonna do, Captain America? You gonna fight 2 grown men? You have psoriatic arthritis, take a seat. I'll tell you what's about to happen. I'm about to watch you get jumped. That's what's about to happen. And I'm gonna watch, because I know how to mind my business. I already learned. This is your lesson, baby, not mine. It wasn't like that when we first got to the neighborhood. When we first got to the neighborhood, the hottest beef on the block were 2 businesses that were at war with each other. It was a health food store and a bagel shop. And the health food store started selling bagels. That's what I said. Here's the thing, they could have sold their bagels in secret. That would have been the respectable thing to do. But they put out a sign. Right, and the sign said, "We sell organic bagels." So the bagel shop put out a sign. And their sign said, "There's no such thing as organic bagels." I saw that, I was like, the block is hot! It's hot in these streets. My favorite thing is like, people still, no matter how crazy it is in New York, people still want to come to New York. They still want to come. People dream of coming to New York. They always tell me it's my dream of going to New York City. And we know why. New Yorkers, we know why. You want something crazy to happen. You want to see something wild. You want your weird New York story. I always tell them, come. It'll happen. We aim to please. The homeless will always provide. I'm sorry, the unhoused. Cupcake? Cupcake? I don't know. I realized that that's our PC term now, is unhoused. And look, I was an English major in college. I'm down to play with language. Let's do this. But we can talk about unhoused, can't we? It's goofy. I'll tell you why. Number one, that's the same word. You can't convince me otherwise. I have a thesaurus. You ain't gonna lie to me. And two, it sounds worse. Right? Homelessness sounds like a situation that could not have been prevented. Unhoused sounds like somebody just rolled up on them. And was like, "I'll be taking this. And no more house for you." The second I heard it, I was like, what an elitist, privileged way of describing a situation, right? Right, you can hear it right away. Did you hear about Janice? She was recently unhoused. That's the kind of word that is only used to make the speaker of said word feel better about acknowledging a situation they know nothing about. It just makes them uncomfortable to acknowledge it, so they created a word as a buffer, but there's no progress in that word. There is no help in that word. And if you've ever lived in that situation, then there are a bunch of words you would have used instead of that word. Like, I was shocked. I was like, nobody thought of nomad? That's my first choice. Can you imagine you roll up on a homeless person? "What up, my nomadic brother?" Way to stay off the grid, man. I, too, am anti-establishment. Some of the words, honestly, some of the changes, I'm okay with. You know what I mean? Some of the changes I think are pretty brilliant. I know a lot of people are upset with all the PC language, but I find it kind of entertaining. Like, did you know on social media now, they're calling smoking weed gardening? I love it. Oh, it makes me sound so much more productive. I've been gardening all day. Gardening helps me deal with people. You know, it doesn't matter how crazy New York gets, it's still a vibe. It's still a city that has its energy. Man, when you think about it, even when COVID hit, we were the epicenter. Even COVID came through like, "Look, New York is lit." COVID was like, if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. Lived its best life. I remember when they released us, from COVID captivity. We got rid of that 6 feet of personal space day one. Day one, it was gone, man. We couldn't wait. I know, because I got on the subway, and within 2 seconds, I had a guy this close. Right in my face like that. I was like, "Sir, we're the only 2 people on this train." I feel like there's a lot of options you're not taking. But where you trying to go? I thought he was lost for like a second. Maybe he thought I was the map. COVID was like a universal trauma that we all shared. What a crazy time. Everybody's life changed. Things changed for people. I became a mom during the pandemic. I had a baby, which is wild. Thank you, most of you. You know what? I realize I get a different response depending on like lifestyle-wise and generationally, like who's in the crowd. Like if it's older people or people with kids, they'll be like, woohoo, you made a person. But like young single people, y'all be like, I see all your trauma come up to the surface. I'm like, I said, I'm a mom, not your mom. I didn't do it.
It's upsetting. I do have 3 white friends. Yes, I count them. They count me. I think fair is fair. I think fair is fair. I'm their 1 black friend. They're my 3 white friends. Let's relax. They're pretty aggressive, too. I don't really. I don't know. They want to be on the right side of history, but it's like they're overcorrecting. It's not making any sense. Like, we were walking around Vegas at nighttime taking pictures, you know, knees out, ankles out, you know, ladies' night. And we ran into this problem where, like, we started taking pictures, and these girls would take pictures of me at night. Okay, no flash. Now, I don't know if y'all know how, like, night works and melanin works. Okay, but night's dark and I'm dark. That's science, okay? These are I ran the numbers. 2 + 2 = black, and that you turn the flash on. Okay. So these girls are taking pictures. I was like, hey, are you gonna turn the flash on these pictures? And they're like, oh my God, Felicia, we can't just flash you like that in the middle of the night. That's really rude. And just to like turn the flash on, like and pretend we can't see you. And it's like, okay, well, you actually can't see me, and it's also way more racist and hurtful just to like post these pictures on Instagram the next day. Like, I didn't go to Vegas with you bitches. You know what I mean? Turn the flash on. I love you. Turn the flash on. And also, don't tag me in the night sky, bitch. You know I'm not up there. You know, tag me appropriately. Tag appropriately. Just make that clear. No. I'm a third wheel a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. You want anyway? You got a girlfriend? Let's go all out. I am a third wheel a lot. I don't know. I like it. People don't want to be a third wheel. What's the problem? You know what I mean? They will pay for your food. It's a great time. They're in love. You know. My favorite thing about like being a third wheel is that couple could be having sex at any point, and they're hanging out with me. What an honor. You know what I mean? What an honor. I wouldn't do it, you know what I mean? If I could, I'm not hanging out with anybody. I don't feel secure in my friendships, okay, until my friends are making love and they stop. They just stop midway and they look at each other and they're like, I wish Felicia was here. It's like, yes! I am there watching with this guy. We're okay, my one friend, she's a model. I got my dating advice from her. She was like, hey, if you want guys to ask you on a date, just do what I do. Just stare at them. That's what she told me to do. So I was like, let's go, you know? So we went out to the club. Good times, you know? She was looking at one guy. It was lit. It was so nice. He came over. He bought her a drink. They started dancing, kissing. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm looking at his friend. I'm smiling at him. He's coming over. I'm like, oh, you know? I'm like, hey, what's up? He was like, hey, do we have a problem? I was flirting, sir. I was flirting. But I did fight him. You know what I mean? I did fight him because he ran up on me. I did fight him. Okay. I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna end on something that I think the people need to know. Men are bad people, and bad people. Just because they're so confident, I'm not even coming after you. You guys are just really way too confident. It's getting too much. It's overbearing. I can't handle it. And I know this. I know for a fact that men are the most confident human beings alive because I used to be a bank teller. I was a bank teller for years, okay? And every day, I'm not over-exaggerating this number, every single day, a man would hit on me through the bank teller window, okay? Negative money in his account. That's below zero. You understand what I'm saying? Every day, a man would just do that. And he'd ask me out, he'd be like, hey, I want to take you somewhere. I'm like, sir, I can see you can't take me. You can't take me. You know? But I'd go because he's so confident. He's so confident. It's so overwhelming. Okay, bye. I love you guys. Bye.
It is cool. My wife's a black woman. She can say like whatever she wants. Total freedom of speech. It's awesome. But she'll drag me into conversations where I have to be like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but white guys are kind of on house arrest right now. You go ahead. Yeah, black women can say whatever they want, except for Whoopi Goldberg for some reason. They're on Whoopi's ass, man. It annoys me. She would apologize recently for using the word gypped. Yeah, she would apologize to the American gypsy community. She had to burn 30 seconds of primetime TV to say sorry to 4 toothless carnies. Just some guy fixing a ring toss, like, better take it back. No, man, my wife will just like drag me into these conversations where I'm like, I don't know how to respond, man. It's like I invited her on a double date not too long ago, and it was like a kind of a weird situation. It was my friend, he's a white guy, who just started dating this black chick, which first of all, I'm kind of like, that's my thing. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. And then it's like, you don't want to go on a double interracial date. Single date's perfect, because like you guys, like, we're saving the world, we're so tolerant. Once you're in like a double interracial date, now you're like enthusiasts or something. It's just swirling a glass like we like what we like. You know, it's weird. But I told my wife the situation. I'm like, come on, man, we should go. You know, we haven't been doing anything. Let's go on the date. My wife was like, what kind of black is she? It's like, level 2. I don't fucking know, man. I can't possibly answer this. I learn about a lot of white stereotypes too. Being with, I hear stuff I'm not supposed to hear. There's a lot of weirdly specific stereotypes about white people you guys probably have no idea about. I always like walk in on conversations where I hear them and I'm kind of like. I just opened my door. I walked in on one recently. I opened my door. My wife was talking to her aunt on speakerphone. It's a cultural thing. And I opened my door. I opened my door. It's a custom, be respectful, and I just opened the door to her aunt being like, you know white people don't care about their grandparents? And I was like, ah, damn it, dude. That one's true, that hurts, I didn't know anyone knew about that. How the hell did they know? It's true. My mom calls me every like 5 months. She's like, you know your great aunt Bridie died? And I'm like, Mom, do I? She's like, you have to go. I'm like, oh, fuck, all right. I have to go literally ID the body at the funeral. I go and I'm like, oh, that lady, I hate funerals. Then you have to like try to like talk to a dead person in your head. It's always, I just panic. I don't know what to say. I just rattle off some Ice-T would say on NCIS. I'm like, crime doesn't pay, you punk. And I walk. But yeah, so it's fun though, man. It's cool, you know, being in a relationship like that. I get like, having a black wife is a confidence booster sometimes. Certain situations, it, like, dude, like customer service disputes. Bro. Black ladies are like the Navy SEALs of customer service, dude. It's crazy. I'm first wave, I'm the scout. I go up, I'm like, hey, I noticed our flight's delayed. Do you know how long that's gonna be by chance? And like, sir, shut the up, dude. Sit the down. I'm like, all right. I always give him another chance. I'm like, are you sure? You'll never guess who's following me up, dude. I just tell, I'm like, it was that lady right there. She comes back 5 minutes later with like a $50 gift card. She's like, we're taking off, throw it on the pile. Yeah, it's not all fun and games, man. We do deal with stuff. We still have a race problem in this country, you know? A lot of perceptual stuff, you know? Like, there's just, like, sometimes you will just be looked at differently, and you know, it is what it is. Like, here's the thing. I bought us a pair of matching sweatpants from Walmart. I thought it'd be funny. It's not. Nobody likes it, but they're these, like, patterned, weird-looking sweatpants, and, like, we still have them. So sometimes, like, laundry just works out the way where we're just out of stuff, and we both wear them. We don't even think about it. We'll be out like running errands in our matching sweatpants. And we'll be like arguing in the electronics department at a Target. And I'll see the people looking at us who work there. And I know they're thinking we're one of those crackhead couples. I know where they're thinking. They think, you know, those couples that like walk along the side of the highway together? Just visibly bound in failure for all to see. Just, you know those guys? They always make me laugh. I'm like, why the highway? What the hell? Checking Google Maps. Like I said, it's going to take 5 days and 4 hours. We're going to take the turnpike. Come on. I love those guys. It's like the Heroin Oregon Trail. You see them out there, you're like, God damn. Prospectors. You see their sweatpants catch the wind, you're like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah, we argue. It sucks. I hate arguing with my wife. I wish we didn't, but we do. We've been together for so long, it's like embarrassing at this point, you know? Because we don't even have anything to argue about. Our arguments are like, they're like abstract. They're like philosophical battles at this point. They don't even, it's like, my house is like ancient Greece, dude, when we argue. Like my wife, it's like stupid stuff. Like I'll be downstairs, she's like, hey, make sure you load the dishwasher before you go to bed tonight. And my brain does that thing where it's like, delete. Control-Alt-Delete. I don't do it on purpose. My mind's just like, this other thing's more important, and I hate that I do that. But then the next morning, you know, it all crashes down on me. She's like, why didn't you load the dishwasher? And I'm like, I forgot. She's like, how did you forget? And I'm like, you want me to explain the absence of thought? It's a logical fallacy, and I won't. We argue over the toilet seat. That's so embarrassing. I hate that, man. Just so stupid and cliche that, you know. But yeah, she all the time. And dude, I'll put it down. I don't care. I'll put it down. Sometimes I forget. You know, and I'm like, all I'm asking you is just fucking gently lower it. Don't slam it like an asshole. Just put it down. It's not the end of the world. And I'm like, what's the worst thing that could happen by it being up? She's like, I could fall in there at nighttime. Like, what do you run to the bathroom ass first and jump? What the f? So now I do. I put it down every time, but I also put that little one too. I put that down like f you. I drop that down, and I pee on it a little. You can't win arguments with women, man. They'll just destroy you. It's their game. You think you win, they'll wait like 3 weeks and just f***ing lance you. It'll be like 3 weeks later, and she'll be like, what's up with your teeth? What do you mean? She's like, oh, never mind. I'm like, what the f***? They'll get you with their celebrity crushes. That hurts, man. Stop doing that, man. That hurts us. We were watching the movie Fury. Did you ever see Fury? World War II movie, Brad Pitt, Army tanks, awesome movie. We're having a good time. We're enjoying it. Halfway through, Brad Pitt pops out of an army tank. He just like won a battle. He's like, yeah. His shirt's ripped. I'm like, yeah, how does a shirt get ripped inside of a tank? But I'm not ruining it for us. I'm quiet. He pops out of the tank. You can see like his stomach. My wife didn't even say anything. She just went, Now I'm watching a whole different movie. I'm rooting for the Nazis now. I'm Googling shit. I'm like, yeah, the economy was pretty f***ed up. No one wants to talk about it.
I wish I could go back and play sports. I wish I could wrestle. I wish I could go back and not college. Like college is just too hard. It was too hard. Even when I won, I was like, I don't feel good, coach. But high school sports, that was awesome. High school sports. I think high school sports are just the funnest thing in the world. But they're different today. Like it's not the same. Like the sports are different. They don't have the same sports. Do you know the state of Illinois has high school fishing? They do. I'm not lying. It's a school sport like football or baseball. They're like, we're going to beat you guys in Friday night in fishing. Like, they have a state championship for fishing sanctioned, which means there's got to be fishing coaches. I'm going to guess they're similar to the coaches I had. Well, you boys embarrass yourselves out there on that lake today. Hayes got his hook caught in a tree. Jansen pulled a shoe out of the lake. And Martin, you couldn't catch a fish in the seafood department at the grocery store. If I was a fish, I'd feel safe around every one of you. All right,
Everybody, hands in, fish on 3. If there's a high school fishing coach, somewhere out there, there is an assistant high school fishing coach, and I never wanted to meet somebody so bad in my life. Guys, we're going to have a tackle box inspection at 9 a.m. And you better have all your hooks and you better have all your lures or you're not going to get on that school bus. I can tell you that right now. Bobby Henderson, I found a half of a ham sandwich in your tackle box. That's not how a fisherman treats his equipment, son. You think Beck Winkleman has a half of a ham sandwich in his tackle box? You think Bill Dance has any kind of a sandwich in his tackle box? That's all I got, Coach. Back to you. You know the parents are involved too. Coach, my boy deserves to be starting on this fishing team. You got him sitting there on the shore. Put him in the boat, Coach. Put him in the boat. Put my boy in that boat. He ready to back issue a field and stream. He don't even read the field parts, just stream. That's all he looks at, Coach. You better put my boy in that boat, Coach. Fishing's in his blood. I had him tying hooks when he was 2 years old. They told me, don't give a sharp object to a toddler, but he had his tetanus, so I gave it to him, and it stuck him. It stuck him a couple of times. So when I tell you it's in his blood, it's in his blood, Coach. It's in his blood. Put my boy in that boat. You think they have fishing cheerleaders? Be patient. Be patient. Shut up, Charlene. You're scaring the fish. Catfish, crappie, smallmouth bass. Your outboard motor's out of gas. We've got worms. Yes, we do. We've got worms. How about you? Bang, bang, choo-choo train. Come on, anglers, do that thing. Hook it, reel it, weigh it, now throw it back. Bang, bang, choo-choo train. Come on, anglers, do that thing. You didn't think it was going to be that kind of show, did you? We got it all. You don't know how much training I had to do that. It's real though. I'm not like they have high school fishing teams. Like it's like they have college fishing teams. They have scholarships to college for fishing. Somewhere, there's a dad that's like, sit down, son. They cut my hours at the mill today. I can't afford to send you to college. You want to make it out of this town? You're going to have to fish your way out. I met a high school fishing coach from Illinois, and I had a lot of questions. I did. I go, I assume it's a spring sport. He goes, well, we practice all year round. I was like, it's Illinois. You don't, you know? He goes, in the winter, we practice indoors. Where? Tell me it's not the swimming pool. That's not fair to the swim team. That's why they made that pool. Like, Coach, one of your anglers hooked my best butterflyer. It's partially his fault. He's a sucker for spinnerbait. But I mean, come on, Coach. We're supposed to share this pool. You like it? Bang, bang. They told me I wasn't moving my hips enough in practice. Is it? Bang, bang, choo, choo. It's not, they have other weird sports. The state of Texas has high school barbecue. I know they do. Like I don't think it's like as prevalent as fishing, you know, but there's teams that like high school teams that barbecue against each other. And I'm going to tell you right now,
I would have played that sport. Like that would have been, I would have quit wrestling so fast to go out for a barbecue. I love I would have done one. I would like, coach, just I want to be on this team. I'll do what it takes. I'll start on chicken or turkey. Like you don't have to. I don't have to do the big stuff now. Put me on sides. Put me on sides, coach. I'll be on the mac and cheese squad. I don't care. Like I want to earn my way. I love barbecue, man. I love it. I love it so much, man. I travel every week, and I go to a barbecue place, every town. And before you start, I'm not going to listen to you. Like, I don't ask locals anymore because they don't want you to go somewhere close. Like, it's never. Like, hey, man, I saw this place. It was right by my hotel. I'm going to go to this bar. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. That's not real barbecue. You don't want to go there. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get on the freeway. You're going to go about 45 miles, okay? You're going to come to a rusted down mailbox. You make it right there on a gravel road, and you just keep going till it ends. There's a man that lives in a dirt hole. Now, he comes out of that hole every Thursday morning with a brisket. That's some barbecue right there. That's some barbecue. He don't take money. You got to give him baseball cards, but I'm going to tell you what, like that's some barbecue right there. Stick with me. I love barbecue. I do, and I go a lot. But here's my main problem with barbecue restaurants. It's the only business where it's just fine for them to not have the stuff that they say they're going to have. Like, they're smug about it. They're not sorry. Like, they're smug. They'll be like, can I get some ribs? You want ribs? You want ribs at 3:30 in the afternoon? Son, we ain't had ribs since 11:05. They line up for these ribs. You can't just come in here in the afternoon looking for some ribs. I mean, they line up. They line up for these ribs. Billy, we got a boy out here who says he wants some ribs. I don't know who's going to bring it to him. Maybe Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Just give me the ribs. Make some more. Like, you're a business.
I love it. And however you're raising your kids and how I'm raising my kid, it's so much gentler than we were raised in the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? Like, if I fell and skinned my knee, got a bloody knee in the 80s, the parent book move, like the compassionate move, was my parents would be like, "You're all right." And I'd be like, "Oh, wow." Thanks for invalidating my entire reality. I'm gonna like something weird sexually because of this. Pain is all right, you say? It begins! And now what we do, it's called gentle parenting. I'm not even making fun of it, I like it. If my daughter skins her knee, you just acknowledge it. You just tell her she's real. You just go, "Oh yeah, big feelings. You're having a hard time. You exist. You are a citizen of this earth. I see you. And the only way you could express yourself was to start a fire in Daddy's study. I see that." I'm not even making fun of it. I like it. I just wish my daughter knew how much better she has it than we had it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to tell her, but I want someone to tell her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sometimes fantasize like a portal could open up and like a ghost could come out, like a Charles Dickens, like a friendly ghost with a top hat. She could come out and whisk my daughter away and take her to a scene from my childhood so she could compare. You know what I mean? Like a Christmas Carol, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. I was giving my daughter, Leela, her name is Leela, I was giving Leela a piggyback, and she's tall like her dad, so I'm feeling her on there. And then she let go with her legs, but she held on with her hands. And she got me on an exhale, so it was dire. She doesn't know how the human body works, so she's laughing. I'm tapping, trying to tap out. She doesn't know what the that means. She's not a Rogan fan. We're raising her right, you know what I mean? So I had to break her grip. I broke her grip. She lands on her feet. I turn around, and she's sad. And then, Portland, I apologized. And I meant it. I was like, oh, baby, you wanted to choke Daddy? I'm sorry I couldn't provide that experience for you today. And it's moments like that I wish the portal would open up and the ghost would come out and take my daughter's hand like, come, child. I'll take you to a moment in Peter's childhood when his father apologized to him. And they go in the portal and it's just perfect darkness and silence. My daughter's like, but Spirit, there's nothing here. And he's like, exactly. Yeah. Whenever I've wanted my dad to apologize to me for hurting my feelings, I always just end up apologizing to him for having hurt feelings. And that's not a big laugh line, but if you go home feeling a little bit less alone, that's also my job. You know what I mean? Sure. And then a portal opens and a ghost takes me to my dad's childhood. He's 6 years old, he already has 2 full-time jobs. He's eating a broken glass sandwich. I'm like, oh, sorry, sir. Yep. We all have our reasons, don't we? Love you, Pop. Love you. You know what I wasn't ready for as a dad? There's this weird phenomena, how much more you love your kids than other people's kids. And I know, that's not a polite thing to say. But if we can't talk here, you know what I mean? Let's talk here. It's a real phenomenon. I love all children, but I love my baby girl so much more. You can't help it. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm not proud of this story. But I'm also not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? Like, we were at a birthday party. It was in a park. My daughter was 3 years old at the time, and there was a carousel. She had never seen a carousel in her life. She was transfixed. She lit up, and I went up to her and I said, baby, I promise we're gonna ride that carousel, you and me. Before the day is done, we're gonna ride the carousel together. She smiled. It warmed my heart. That's a sacred thing. That's a daddy-daughter promise. You don't mess around with that. A couple hours later, a friend of mine who knows I made that promise comes running up to me and goes, Pete, it's the last carousel ride of the day. So I scooped Leela up and I ran as fast as I could across the field towards the carousel. We got there just in time. We got in line. At that very moment, my friend Scott, that's his real name, that's an unnecessary betrayal. My friend Scott runs up to me. He's white as a ghost. He's out of breath. He goes, Pete, have you seen River? I can't find River. You couldn't find his kid. We were in line. It's a biological urge. They were letting people through the turnstile. I'm not proud. But this is a true story. I went like this. I went, oh no. River. What was she wearing? Blue? Blue overalls? And then I was whisked away by a wooden horse with a frozen face. As soon as the ride started, I regretted it. This is true. So when the ride was facing the park, I would keep an eye out so I wouldn't feel like a total piece of shit. So it was like this. It was like, River! You can't help from a horse. What would I do if I saw her? Stay put, baby! Help is coming, not from me. I'm engaged in whimsy. Yeah, they found her. That would be up if I was like, and she's gone. Yeah, she's gone. I really regret my decision. I should have lent a helping hand. She was barely gone one carousel ride. I want to care about everybody. There's just so many of us.
I'm happy to be here with you guys. I love it. I love doing comedy. Comedy is my favorite thing in the world. I especially love comedy because I feel like when I'm up here, it's the literal only time my entire day that I'm not staring at my phone. You guys got phones? Or no? Some Mormons here? Good to see you. That's it. Every time I touch my phone, I feel worse. Have we noticed this? Right? Every time I open Instagram, I'm like, oh, great, I'm not hot. You know? And then I'll open Twitter and be like, oh, great, I'm not smart. You know, but then you open Facebook, you're like, no, I'm doing okay. Ooh. Ooh. Every time I open Facebook, it's someone from my high school, like, pray for my foot surgery. You're like, oh. Why would you put a picture? You know, pretty disgusting stuff. I'm married comedian. Thank you. Oh, stop it! What? Sorry, guys. I married another comedian / actor, so we're super rich. If anyone needs money, you let me know. Okay. I like being married. Being married's fun. Me and my husband have a lot of fun together. I will say, I don't know if you can tell by the shape of my body, but I'm Irish Catholic. Is that a register? If you don't know what that means, if you ever walked past a white woman and you're like, no way I could push her over, you know, that's us. And that's sort of like a sturdy bunch. The stereotypes about Irish Catholic people are we drink and we fight. And I'm going to be honest, those are my big two. Okay, those are my two favorite things. And my husband hates to fight, hates it. And I will admit, sometimes I get a little overzealous. Like my husband watches all of these classic rock documentaries. I don't know if there's any other white guys here tonight. Huh? Any white guys? Woo, don't woo, not in this climate. Okay. Every single one of these classic rock documentaries, they're horrible to women. I don't know if you've ever seen any. Every single one, they're like, chick got pregnant, so we left her at a truck stop. Rock and roll, baby. And it makes me so angry. And recently, I walk in our bedroom. He's watching this classic rock documentary. Huge performance scene. Full band, one single woman on stage. And she was holding this little guitar. Okay, I can't. I know. This set me off. I was like, oh, the woman's gotta hold the little guitar. She got hold the little guitar with the little woman arms. Huh? She can't hold a big guitar like you big, strong man. She got a little guitar. I'll never forget. He goes, honey, that's a violin. I go, oh, you're gonna mansplain me violins now. Unbelievable. You want to get quiet immediately. That's good. Okay. Before my husband and I got engaged, I used to call him my pre-fiance. Yeah, he hated it a lot. He really hated that. And I didn't mean to pressure him into marriage. At the moment I turned 30, the hair on the top of my head started thinning. And then it started coming in thick on my chin. And I was like, I gotta trap this guy before I look like Fred Durst, you know, so funny enough, Limp Bizkit, classic rock now, huh? Really cool stuff. I also wanted to get married. I'm 35 years old now. What? We gave her a microphone? Get out of here. I'm 35 years old now, and I do want children eventually, and I've got like 30 minutes. I do want shit. It's like every time I walk past a kid on the street, I'm like, my body is like, give me that baby, you know? But then my personality is like, I'll party. And it's like, that's a fine line, you know? I just don't know how you know when you're ready to be a mom, you know? I was an accident. What a gift to the world I am, you know? Look at me up here, you know? I do know this is true. I live in New York City, and I was standing at Penn Station one time, and I swear to God, over the loudspeaker, this woman goes, if you were just in the office, you left your kids. And I was like, I could be a mother. Yeah. Don't forget they're alive. That's big. And also, I think that's a backup plan. Get them out of there. When my nieces were born, I was in my mid-20s. They think I'm the coolest aunt ever. I'm such a cool aunt. And now all my friends have kids, and I am in my mid-30s, and I've just immediately become a creepy uncle. I'm like, come here, sit in my lap, please. You're so pretty. You love me? You're growing up so fast. Give me a kiss.
I was so desperate for work a little bit ago that I was like willing to do any job. So I applied to be a cater waiter because I think a job seems more fun if it rhymes. That pretty much did it. And I found the job on Craigslist. So the entire application process was done via text message. And the lady was like, could you text me any of your relevant work experience, and could you also text me a photo of yourself? Because I guess you need a cater waiter to be like at least a 6 or something. I don't know. So I did, and she responded, all right, we'll call you tomorrow to hammer out the details. And then she texted me a photo of herself. And I do think it would have been fun if I'd responded, you know what, actually, I don't want the job. I want the job. I don't want it. Thanks, one guy in the back. Okay, I've been thinking about this thing that happened. Maybe you guys can help me. When I was in middle school, okay, I was walking on campus, and I was walking towards a door, and I was reaching out to pull open the door. But as I was reaching out, a girl inside the building pulled the door open first, but my arm was already going up in the air. So what ended up happening was I just put all of my fingers in her mouth. Just like right in there. And I think about her like once a month. Do you guys think she thinks about me ever? I'll confess a couple other things. I made the mistake of hooking up, having sex with one of my ex-boyfriends a little bit ago, which would have been bad enough, but he had recently decided to bleach his hair and his eyebrows. Have any of you guys ever been having sex with someone and the entire time they look surprised? Is that... I was also surprised. It also might be surprising to find out that I'm straight. I know that everything about me suggests some sort of gray area. But I'm not gay, not bi. I tried, it didn't take. Because I think when you grow up with a female friend named September, like by law, you have to experiment with her sexually, so... That's how I figured that one out. Me and September, we grew up actually not far from here in this, it's part of LA County. It's a place called Chatsworth, California. Yeah, one person just went, oh, yeah. Which makes sense. It's the porn capital of the world, so you just told us a lot about you, miss. It is the porn capital of the world. It was featured pretty prominently in the most recent Tarantino movie. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's this part where Brad Pitt, he goes to this creepy ranch where a bunch of young girls are this old blind guy. And honestly, it was just nice to see my community represented in the media. It was cool.
The thing my country family is most proud about me for is not selling out theaters. I see you. It's a rat. My demo. Don't get the ceiling in this shot. No, I'm very rich. I'm very successful. This is actually just a fundraiser so that this 2,000-seat theater can finish their roof. it's because I get to go across the country and open up for David Spade as his body double. We booked a private gig. So he got for himself and all his openers, he got us a private jet. And I was so excited because I've flown fourth class my whole life. I'm like, oh, I've never ridden on one. So I get on this private jet. I have to take a private tinkle. And I don't know if you guys have been on, no, you haven't. You're here. Anyways, okay. But I can't find the bathroom because there's no sign. So all of a sudden, the pilot comes out and he kind of scoffs at me. You know, like the valet scoffs at you when you show him how you get in through your trunk. And then he points to this velvet bench that I was sitting on. And he lifts it up and he goes, "We hide the toilet seat underneath." And it blew my mind. I was like, what? That's some rich people Hunger Games shit right there. I was like, my people, we don't have the toilet. We come from a land called Coach. And we have signs because we eat solids. And I started spiraling. I'm like, we even play games with our potties, okay? So I'm from a land called Louisville, Kentucky, where they have the Kentucky Derby. Has anyone ever heard of it before? Okay, low red, okay, front row. Okay, so what it is, if you don't know, it's this fancy event where wealthy people, they watch these animals run around in circles, you know, and after every race, you can see some of them freaking out, because they just lost their son's college fund on an animal named Buckle Up Buttercup. But at the Derby, they don't let us hillbillies in the stand. They corral us in the infield. Right? So we're there watching the horses race, and we get FOMO. We're like, oh, I want to do that. Hold my moonshine. And so we have ourselves something called porta potty racing, okay? Do y'all know what porta potties are? I want to make sure. Okay. You never know. My tickets are expensive, so, you know. Okay, so what porta potty racing is, if you don't know, porta potties, they're, I just remember the first time I saw a porta potty, I didn't know what it was. I just saw people like lined up and they were so excited to get inside, you know? They were like, oh my, hurry up! And I was like, oh my, what is in there? 'Cause I grew up very Catholic, so I thought they were little confessionals. Because people they looked so worried before they got in, you know, and then they got out, they were so relieved. So okay, so porta potty racing, what you do is you find a line of these guys, okay? That's a God-made landmark. You can read about it in Genesis. And and you go up to the first one in the line, and you ask a man to help you up to the very tip top of it. And he always does, because you have a sundress on. And then, oh, he looks just like you. I knew, okay. Now I clocked you. Okay, and then the name of the game is to try and run across the top of the porta potties without falling in. It's like the floor is lava, but worse. Because it's human lava. Do you get it? Listen, if you fall in, you're gonna wish it was real lava, all right? You would just die, but you don't. And then you just have to remember it at Catholic Mass the next morning. Now, if you get pretty far and you haven't fallen in yet, then there's dudes on the ground that are gonna get excited, you know, because now you're their redneck ninja warrior. They're like, oh my God, she's really doing it. And they can't help themselves. They get so excited, they'll throw full beer bottles at your head, because that's how their dad showed them they were proud. And then if you dodge all the bottles full of love and you make it to the very end, then you get to get arrested. And then you get to go to jail. And you get to talk to your dad again. Anyways, I said all that to the pilot. And he was like, you belong on Frontier.
I don't know how she puts up with me. We had to leave the city and move to the suburbs during the pandemic, and we had to live around rich people. And I grew up poor. I don't really know how to be around rich people. No offense if you're rich. I don't like you much. I'm sorry. It's hard to talk to you. One of the neighbors was so obnoxious with his wealth, he would use seasons as verbs when you talk to him. He goes, we summer in the Cape. Can we winter in Aspen? And I'm like, go to hell. How about that? Can you go summer in hell for a little bit? He goes, where do you summer? I'm like, in front of a fan. Dependent upon the humidity, but a lot of August I'm oscillating. I don't know about you. I never got to summer anywhere because my parents would spring into financial decisions and we would fall flat on our faces. So, bring me back some taffy from the Cape, Jeff with a G, you piece of and let my dog ruin your lawn. It's weird going from the city to the suburb. I don't know how to own anything. I'm around all these professional homeowners and I'm just like, I don't know how I fake it. It made me so anxious and so nervous. One day I was just standing outside of the house looking at it like, why'd the bank give us this? Just staring at it like, how do I take care of this thing? It could have been a minute, a year. I have no idea how long I was out there, but my neighbor just showed up. And he's like, what do you do? I call that neighbor Street Dad. I got a guy named Street Dad. I borrow all his He just like showed up. He's like, what are you looking at? And I wish I was honest. I wish I was like, I'm afraid. I don't know. I'm not ready for this. Can you please make sure I don't burn this down? Instead, I panicked and I tried to sound cool. I'm like, I think I'm going to switch to natural gas. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't have a clue. I'm just going to switch. He looks at me, he's like, dude, we already have natural gas. I had my out, but I had to double down. And I'm like, no, like more natural. Like I want to have the most natural gas on the street. He goes, you mean like propane or something? And I went, my tummy hurts. And I ran inside and I've been hiding from him ever since. I don't know. I look through the blinds. I'm like, is he out there? I got to stay inside. I don't know how to do it.
Everybody remembers their first job as a kid, man. You know, maybe you sold Girl Scout cookies, maybe you mowed lawns, you babysat, whatever. I was about 12 years old when I got my first job. I was the account manager for my granny's Marlboro Miles. Okay, real ones, no, okay, yeah. So for everybody that was either too young to remember or maybe you just had a great childhood, let me set it up for you guys, okay? Marlboro used to have this program where if you smoked a ton of their cigarettes, they'd send you free shit. That's right. Free stuff for doing the thing you loved most, man. The world really was a better place. And they used a point system, okay? It was 5 points per pack of cigarettes. And all you had to do was save up a whole bunch of points, pick what you wanted from the Marlboro catalog, okay? Send in your points, and they would mail you your item in the longest 6 to 8 weeks of your life. Marlboro sunglasses, Marlboro jackets, Marlboro coolers, Marlboro tents, Marlboro dartboards. I mean, they had it all, man, okay? And every item they had the Marlboro logo plastered across it. Because this was really all about marketing, okay? Because before this, the only way to advertise that you smoke Marlboros is if you walked around with an oxygen tank. And every item they had probably cost them $2 to make, you know, if that. And it was made by a 6-year-old Vietnamese kid who was definitely also smoking Marlboro Reds. Man, when they dropped this program, my granny upped it from 2 packs a day to 4. She quit becoming an addict and became an investor. And she had her eyes set on the biggest prize in that catalog, the Marlboro bicycle. Because nothing screams a healthy lifestyle like chain smoking while riding a bike. And y'all, the bicycle was 16,000 points. Now let's do a little math here, okay? That equals 3,200 packs of cigarettes. And let's say in the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm just lowballing here. Let's say a pack of cigarettes was $2. That equals $6,400 in cash. You could buy a Chevy S10 for $6,400 in 1998. That's trailer trash math, okay? And to you or me, that doesn't make sense. But to my granny, that's a free bike. Oh my God, you guys. It was wild. Y'all, our monthly cigarette budget was more than the grocery budget. One month, it was either cigarettes or toilet paper. And guess who had to wipe their ass with coffee filters? Me. She took it serious, man. She did, y'all. One time, my uncle got drunk and tripped over my grandma's little chihuahua, went airborne, okay? Dropped a whole bowl of Wolf brand chili onto the coffee table. Ruined a fat stack of Marlboro miles I just counted out. Y'all, my grandma lost her shit. I swear to God, I saw it in slow motion, you guys. She jumped up, she chokeslammed my uncle through the screen door into the backyard. It was wild, man. She went from 0 to full-blown Undertaker in 0.3 seconds.
I think about having kids. I do. I'm 37. I could have kids. I think about it. Until literally every time I call my brother, who has 3 boys under the age of 12. Yeah. Every time I call him, 30 seconds into our phone call, his entire life turns into the back half of the film Point Break. We'll just be chatting along, and then out of nowhere, he's like, 1 second, what's in your hands? Show me those hands! Fuck, one's on the roof, one's on the roof. Where'd you get a Nixon mask? That joke does better if you've seen Point Break. I think it's crazy how quickly in life we separate children on whether or not they have a chance at life. We do. You may be like, what do you mean? What I mean is reading groups. That's when there's 6 and we're like, split them up. These are the maybes and these are just keep them busy. But they don't say like which one's the smart group and which one's the dumb group. They're cute with it. They're like, you're the red group and you're the blue group. But even at 6, you know. You're like, shit. My group loves glue. We can't get enough of this stuff. We're doing like glue charcuterie, you know? Like, why don't you take the glue stick, dip it in some wet cement? Yeah, it freaking rocks, okay? Maybe we should read a little bit. And they're like, we would, but remember how last reading we glued all the books shut? Damn it! We did and it rocked. It was fun. I remember one time, our teacher went to split it up. She's like, red group over here, blue group over here. And my buddy was like, we're not the blue group, we're the glue group, right? And I was like, no. We shouldn't be proud of what we're doing. We should be ashamed. This story is just dedicated to the fallen brothers of the glue group. A lot of them aren't here anymore. Yeah, they blew up a lot of garages. Yep. They went out doing what they did best, guys. Just not reading instructions at all.
Remember the first couple months of the lockdown as just some real dark days? Yeah, I just thought I'd bring you back there. I remember the first couple of months of that lockdown, the whole world's caving in around me. All of us, we don't know what the hell's going on. You lost your job, you're locked in your house with your kids. Just washing your mail and I tell you, man, I found myself doing all these childhood activities, like doing puzzles and playing board games and crying. Maybe throw in some long showers. Sometimes I'd cry in the shower. Just multitasking. I'll tell you this about the pandemic, like, I would rather cry than do a puzzle. I'd rather eat a puzzle. 1,000 pieces, no problem. And then in the morning, I at a rustic farmhouse. Which is weird, because it was a puzzle of a kitty. Something ain't right down there. Something's off. So stupid. All right.
I just don't trust anyone who's never worked a job where they thought about killing themselves at least once. Like, at least once. Like, once. You're just like, this could all end, and I can end it right now. I'm not even clinically depressed right now, but what if? What if I just killed myself, That thing where you're like, God damn it, I got 5 hours left in this shift. Or... swallow 25 aspirin, I don't know. Whatever it takes. When you're bar backing, all you're doing is washing glasses and putting them away. Just stack them, put them away. And there's 2 or 3 bartenders that are slammed, and you're not allowed to make drinks. And there's beers and ice in front of you, and taps and liquor bottles behind you, and people are just like, just get me a drink. Just pour some whiskey in a cup. It's right there. There's a beer right there. God damn it. You're like, I can't. Please stop yelling at me. I'm not allowed. I'll be fired. Please, sir. What are you, a stupid monkey? You're just like, God damn it. I remember looking down at a stirring fork and being like, all it would take is just 2 right there. Just right there, and just bleed out in front of this dickhead. Looking at him, sit on a stool and be like, you did this. Just break all his drinks in half with my face and slide down the bar. Clean this up. Just die right there, staring at him, still dying. All behind the bar. You're cleaning this up, sir. You are. I don't know what you said. It crosses the mind, Absolutely. But I think those jobs hone you and make you into the person you're supposed to be. If you've never worked a crap job, that's bad, because you're not your truest self, I think it's like MMA or something, right? It kind of makes you you know, tough in your own way and find the real you. Like, I was always a funny person growing up, you know, I was always class clown and stuff, but I would get accidentally hilarious when I was a bartender. When I was slammed, and stuff would just come out of me, you know, that would kill. And I'd be like, I was just being serious. What, that was funny? Like, I remember being so busy, in the weeds, as we call it in the industry, the folks here know, I lost my sight. Like, I don't know if it was sweat in my eyes, I don't know if I was dehydrated, but my eyesight went blurry, and all I saw were colors and shapes. That's it. And I'm just pushing drinks out and hoping I'm making the right change and feeling credit cards like Braille to see who it is. You know, it was awful. And then some dick somewhere in front of me goes, "Am I invisible?" And I said sincerely, "Who said that?" And the whole bar cracked up. And I'm like, "Yeah, throw him out." And they did. The guy's like, "Hey!" Threw him out the door. I am Caligula.
No idea. The only way I found out that we were not as wealthy as I thought was the first time I went over to a slightly richer family's house for Thanksgiving, and we all sat on the same kind of chair. I was blown away. I was like, "You've got 11 of this one chair type? Are you secretly a duke of some sort?" Like, every holiday meal at my house would be like, "Ivan, go get the computer chair for Grandma." I'm dragging it down the hall. "I wanted the computer chair." My mom's yelling out of the kitchen, "No chance. You are sharing the piano bench with your brother." And you know it. We didn't have a piano, by the way. It's just the bench. My uncle's at the end of the table sitting on a yoga ball. Got a hole in it nobody can find, so he's slowly sinking for the entire meal. And I was like, I don't think we're as rich as I thought. So this was a problem, of course, when it came to buying a diamond ring. I didn't know anything about it. I knew I had to go to a jewelry store. I knew that I was going to interact with a commission salesperson at that store, which I was nervous about because I'm uncomfortable around commission salespeople. I'm very easily bamboozled by their tricks. I'm sure you can all tell this from my general vibe. Anybody watching this that works in sales, as soon as I walked up here, thought to themselves, "This guy buys extended warranties." I know what I look like. I don't exactly know the kind of energy I give off on a first impression. I do know that it means if I go to any type of ethnic restaurant, it is a 100% guarantee that I will be cautioned about spice. It's not easy getting a medium with this face. Yeah, I'll have a medium. No, you won't. Not here, you won't. You had our medium? I doubt it. Guy looked like you got a medium yesterday. We had to call an ambulance. So you can have a mild and a milk. There's a lot of things I wish I knew going into this jewelry store. Number one thing I wish I knew about buying an engagement ring is you don't get to take the ring home from the store that day. Whoops, wish I knew that. They gotta make it the right size. So I just drove to the mall, maxed out my credit card, and then drove home with nothing. Like, gee, I sure hope they call. They did call. I got lucky, I guess. I go back to pick up the ring. This is where it gets weird again. I show up, I was like, "Hi, my name's Ivan. You said my ring was ready?" And the guy goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." Then he goes in the back, he comes out. He's got the ring in a tiny Ziploc bag, like it was evidence in a murder. And he tried to hand it to me like that. I didn't even accept it. And he goes, "Oh, do you need a box?" Yeah. Who's proposing without the box? That's the whole thing. How smooth of a guy do you think I am that I'm gonna kneel down and just dangle that out there like, "Babe! You wanna stay together till we're dead?" They wrote my name on here in pen. Could be your name.
But let me offer you some advice that I wish someone had offered me before I had children, because I didn't know this, which is this. When you're traveling with your family, when you have children and you travel with said children through the airport, you can be randomly selected by TSA, who will suddenly decide to start peppering your children with questions to make sure that you are not kidnapping them. How fun's that? And I didn't know this was even a thing until it happened to my little family at Denver International Airport. We're traveling through the airport, ready to go. To give you an idea of my son Malcolm's desire to talk to strangers that day, let me explain to you his outfit. He was wearing headphones, not plugged into anything at all, fingerless gloves, and winter boots on a 95-degree day. I ask you, is that the outfit of a 3-year-old who'd like to dialogue with a stranger? I'd argue not. And yet, nevertheless, we're passing through security and suddenly a TSA guy is in Malcolm's face. And he's just like, hey son, what's your name? And Malcolm's like, Malcolm. He goes, okay, good. Is that your brother over there? He goes, yeah. He goes, what's your brother's name? He goes, Ellis. He goes, okay. Are those your parents? And Malcolm goes, I think so. Can you think of a worse answer than I think so? No is actually a better answer. No is like, it's an uncle, it's a godparent, produce some paperwork, get to the bottom of it. But I think so. That's what they've been telling me since they took me from the campsite 4 days ago. And when I say otherwise, they hit me so very hard. So I think so. And we were like, Malcolm, tell that dude where your parents, what are you doing? Tell him, where your parents? And the guy's like, son, I'm gonna ask you one more time, and this is very important. Are those two your parents? And Malcolm goes, uh-huh. Like clearly under duress. Uh-huh, mm-hmm. And then they just let us through because they're TSA and they're inept. TSA is like, hey, what if we took the crew of a Times Square McDonald's, put them in charge of global security? What's everybody think? Good idea or not? We get through the x-ray machine miraculously. I'm retrieving my bag, and this other dad who was in line, he came up to me and he goes, I'm not gonna lie, dude, that made me nervous. I go, made you nervous? If I don't get these two to Reno by Tuesday, I'm out $150K. That's my year, bud. That's my year. The exception to the rule of Malcolm's shyness is women. He likes talking to women. In fact, he'll only talk to women, which I so get. Men are the worst. If I had the option of never talking to a man again my entire life, I would take that option. But men keep talking to me, and it feels rude not to respond, so I have to engage. My son, he's under no such societal constraints. He can talk to whoever he wants to talk to, and he's decided that's only going to be women. So the other day, we were at the park, and we were playing Delivery Guys, because my son will only play working class games. Yeah. Delivery guys, firefighters, EMTs, construction workers. Some lets me know he doesn't respect what I do for a living at all. So we're playing Delivery Guys, and a woman comes running through the park, right where we're playing. She's got earbuds on, she's jogging, she's minding her own business, and my son Malcolm, he just goes, hey, you! Yeah, like real delivery guy energy, you know? Just cat calls her, "Hey, you!" And she stops and takes her earbuds out. She's like, yeah, yes? He goes, "We're delivery guys." She goes, "Oh, yeah?" He goes, "Yeah, my brother, my dad, me, we're delivery guys." And she goes, "Well, what are you delivering?" And he goes, "We're on a break." Like, I'm not pretending to know my son's eventual sexual preference, but if he ever decides that it is in fact women, he's already gaslighting at a high school level. Once he figures out that women love it when you tell him to smile more, he's gonna crush. And I can feel a lot of women in the room not liking where that joke went. But I set up the joke by saying men are the worst, and then I ended the joke by giving an example of men being the worst. So I ask you, is it the joke that you don't like, or do you just hate foreshadowing?
My first job, I was a teacher. That's what I did. And first job, I lied to get a job because there were no phys ed jobs. And that completely backfired. They made me teach grade 12 history. I know, I didn't even take grade 12 history when I was in high school. So I'm teaching it, and I'm like the 10th smartest person in the class. That's not good. Awful. No idea what I was doing. Had never taken history in my life. I had to go home every night, read the chapters myself first to learn everything. Then I'd come in and teach it. That's how the whole year was. I'd even assign the homework like this every night. All right, tonight for homework, I'd like you to read chapters 1 to 3, okay? And then stop reading, all right? Don't go reading ahead. Coming in asking questions tomorrow on stuff I haven't learned yet. That's a no-no. We don't do that. Because that's what the smart kids would do. Every day I had this kid, Duncan. Every day he had a new question. Sir, what happened to the Mayan civilization? What chapter's that, Duncan? 15. What are you, a loser? You read the whole book already? I couldn't call him a loser. I could think it. But that's the thing, right? Teachers don't know the answer. We don't admit it. I never said, I don't know. I'd lie. Throw it back on the kids. That was my trick. Oh, is that right, Duncan? Huh. So you think I'm just going to spoon feed you the answers all year, do you? No, that's not how I teach, kids. So thanks to Duncan, I would like the rest of you to go home tonight and look up what happened to whatever he's mumbling about at the back. That was my whole year. It's horrible. I'd have Duncan come up and write the question on the board in big letters. Because I needed to see how he spelled Mayan so I could Google it later myself. Thank God for Google. When you can't spell something, at the top it says, "Did you mean this word, idiot?" Thank you, Google Master. It was horrible. Then you had to come in the next day, take up the homework. Oh, I still don't know what happened to the Mayan civilization. Kids have their hand up. I'm like, put your hand down, Dave. You got a 30 average. I'm not gambling on your answer. Can't ask a kid with a 30 average. I don't know if he's right or wrong. He's going to give an answer. I'm just going to be like this. That's a good. Let's see what someone smarter than you thinks. That's how I had to. Lorraine, can you tell us what happened to the Mayan civilization? And then whatever she would say, I would vote. How many people agree with that answer? There you go, Duncan. That's exactly what happened right there. There's a whole year of that. One kid smoked pot every day. Unbelievable. Pot. This kid would smoke it every morning, 9 o'clock, first period. Walk in stoned every day like I'm stupid. I can't tell you're stoned, it's 12th grade. You stick out like a sore thumb. Teachers aren't idiots. Then I thought about it. I think the only grade that kids could have smoked up before class and walked in without getting caught was kindergarten. That's the only grade. Think about it. You could have smoked up all you want before kindergarten. Stormed into class. No one would know. It took everybody an hour and a half to get their coat and boots off. You smoke up all you want. You'll be taking forever to get your boots off. So would everybody else. You'd be like, God, everybody smoked up today. Look at this. Who's the dealer? Imagine being stoned at the age of 4. That would be hilarious. Trying to get that piece of crap $8 snowsuit off. Remember this thing from Kmart? Had one zipper. Started at your forehead. Couldn't breathe for the first 3 minutes of the day. Got stuck 15 times. You're stoned out of your mind, walking around going, God, it's hot. It's hot. It's June. Why am I wearing a snowsuit? This pot is screwing up my ability to recognize the seasons. What kind of crap zipper was that? One zipper. When only the left leg came out, remember? It started up here, wrapped around a couple times, in case it wasn't on tight enough, we'll wrap it up. And then only the left leg, that's how it was made. People making it were like, let the little potheads figure it out. We don't need 2 zippers. So you're stoned out of your mind and you can't get it off. You're like, I can't get the right leg out. And you're dragging around your snowsuit. You think it's a dead body because of the pot. You're like, well, there's a dead body. You're getting tired. That's a great grade to be stoned. Miss, I'm tired. When's our nap? Oh. Did I miss snack time? I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I was racist in grade 1. Yeah. I didn't mean to be racist. I don't know why I did this. My best friend was a kid named Rami Jahari. That's how he said his name. I don't know why I did this. I wasn't trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just a 6-year-old kid. He was one of my best friends, but I'd call him over every recess. Rami! Okay, let's try this. Did I say anything? Nothing? Okay, I got some other ideas tomorrow. I'll see you at recess. I did that every day. Then I'd go to his house for lunch. You ever go to an Arabic person's house for lunch when you're 6? It's terrifying. Everything they say, they sound angry. His father would come in the room. Rama! Mitayaka si tayar makaratia! Okay. My dad would like to know if you like peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. I had a buddy skipped grade 1. Wow. How the hell do you skip grade 1? What are you, big finger painting champion? Duck, duck, goose winner every day? Wow, look at that kid run. Skip him. How stupid do you feel, though, walking into grade 2? You just skipped grade 1. Everyone's looking at you, mocking you. Look, that's the kid right there. Skip grade 1. No, shut up. Heard he's really good at cooperating with others. Remember, I had to do the food groups project. Remember this waste of time? Did it every year. It's like every teacher signed it. It's those teachers that had nothing to do. That was me. No lesson plans. I'd show movies when I taught. This is how selfish I was as a teacher. One year I was teaching geography, and I was showing Rudy, because I like that movie. Had nothing to do with the class. I'm like, this has nothing to do with geography. Happened in Indiana, okay? But what I would do is I had geography period 1 and geography period 2, the same grade. I would show period 1 the first half, and then I'd just keep it going the second half. They're like, what? Period 2 is like, why are we watching this in the middle? Well, I just saw the first half. I don't want to see it again. I remember doing the food groups, though, every year. So then I assigned it every year. That's how it works. I'm going to do what all my teachers did. But I remember being in grade 1, and we had to do this project. 6 years old, if you're going to do a project and they sign someone with you, you got to be supervised. You can't leave 2 6-year-old boys up in a room doing a project, because I don't know how we got to this, but we did our project. Nutrition. We couldn't spell. Nutrition. And you underline it. Double underline, double. Put a little R with the number. It's spelled wrong. Put an R, drop it in. Diary product. We couldn't spell. And then they, nutrition, underline, and then diary product. And then they post them in the halls for everyone to see. So your parents can come beat you up at parent-teacher night because they see you can't spell and you embarrass the family name. Because your name's this big on those posters. We go upstairs. This is a true story. I don't know what it means. I don't know how we came to this. We finished taping everything. His mom's picking him up in 2 hours. It takes 15 minutes. We're up in my room, 6 years old. I suggest we tape our penises together. And the thing that blows my mind, when I look back on that day, I can't help but think, what are the odds of finding a kid in the whole world to agree to this? I got the one kid in my room. And he wasn't like, he didn't question it. He was like, yeah. Like it was like, it's like he was thinking it too. And that's the weird stuff you do. Joey, I'll never forget it. Joey and I are up there. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We stripped down. And we just did that. We taped our penises together, and we just stared at each other. We didn't know what to do. Completely naked, just standing there, thinking maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And then he says, I lost it when he said this. I ended up peeing all over him. And he wasn't trying to be funny, but we were 6 years old. We had just learned the alphabet. And he's staring and he says, he's all excited too, we made the letter H. And that was it. That was our project. I wasn't even a good student. I remember being in grade 6. That was my worst year. Couldn't read very well. And they made you read out loud. Remember that crap? Get rid of this reading out loud in schools. Nobody is listening to the kid that's reading. We're not following, we're doing the same thing. We all sat at our desks, terrified, counting people to see which paragraph we had. That's all you want to know. Which one do I got to read? Is it big? Is it a big one? I can line it up. Kid, before you go to the bathroom, you're like, oh, I'm screwing up the order. I don't have the same paragraph now. You always had that one kid, too. Every school had that one kid in grade 6 that was 7 reading years behind everybody. Remember this kid, Bruno? Couldn't go to recess till Bruno finished reading. I was like, what? My life was recess in grade 6. I was the first kid lined up. This is how I stood at the door. 2 minutes before the bell, just like this. Come on, let us go, let us go. My buddies are behind me going, go get the field, Jerry, go get the field. Yeah, no kidding, idiot. Why do you think I'm in my fast position? This is, you think I stand like this all day? No, I don't stand like this all day. See the other kids getting out early, you're losing it. Miss, how come that class? Oh. Because we had to get the field. That's how guys lived. You had to get the field or the court. One kid was sent out to touch a pole. Sometimes I'd be on the wrong field, just holding the pole. No one's showing up. That was my whole recess. Come on, where are these guys, man? I got the whole field to myself. You had to get the field or the court. Girls didn't care as much in grade 6. You could have fun with nothing. You could take a little corner of the field and find a rock, and you were, girls, a rock. Come on in, I'm gonna create a game. Everyone's welcome. There's no discriminating. No teams since someone's left alone. I'm gonna draw a box, and we're gonna stand in and out, and we'll dance in and out. It's called in and out. I just made it up, and this is our game. We'll be friends forever. Oh, I love it. What a great game. Not us. We had to fight. We couldn't go one day to recess because Bruno couldn't read, and then the bear licked the honey. I was like, are you kidding me? Why did this kid always yell? It took forever. And then the BR. That doesn't sound right. Then he'd say the wrong word over and over again, the exact same way. It's like he wasn't even trying anymore. Like-a-da. The BR like-a-da. Can't get this. Like-a-da. Come on. Shut his eyes sometimes, like he was thinking harder. Like-a-da. No. You might want to look at the word. To make matters worse, he's the only kid in the class that wouldn't follow the paragraph with his finger. So he'd finally finish reading that sentence, and then he'd read it again. You're like, what the hell? I just heard this half an hour ago. But he'd read it like 2 different things happened. I didn't know what was going on. And then the BR, like the honey. What? And then the BR, like the honey. What? My book doesn't say that. It was awful. I'm like, come on, Bruno, learn how to read, man. You're 17, it's ridiculous. Put your helmet back on. How come he gets a helmet, miss? Nobody told me why he wore a helmet. How come he gets a helmet? Gets to leave every day at 2 o'clock on his own bus? That's not fair. No one told me I'd show up the next day with a helmet on. Miss, it's 2 o'clock. Bruno and I gotta take off. Our bus is outside, yeah. Poor kid.
I hit a cop car with my car. I don't recommend doing that. I was driving home with my fiance. We were just a few blocks from home. We were passing by this cafe that I go to from time to time. I noticed it peripherally that they were open later than usual. So I turned my head like, oh, they're open later than usual. When I turned back, the words police were getting closer and closer. I rammed into the cop car's bumper, and my fiance, to her credit, didn't say anything, but I could just feel everything she was thinking. I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right about all of it. The cop car, we're at a light. The cop car turns off to a side street. So then I turn to my fiance, like, should we just get the hell out of here? Like, it's like, no, we can't do that. So then I turn and follow the cop and pull up behind him. Now all of a sudden it's like I'm pulling him over. Like, maybe I work for the NYPD now. So then we're just sitting and waiting. Cop finally gets out, ambles over. First thing he says is, bad idea hitting a cop car. I was like, yeah, actually it wasn't my idea. It just happened. Then he was kind of like pacing around. Like, remember when you were a kid and your parents were almost like searching for the punishment? They were beside themselves. So I'm waiting. Finally, he's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this. I was like, that was my solution. Then he goes, you were never here. Which I thought was almost existential. Like, are any of us ever really, truly here? Then he turns and walks back to his car. As he's about to get in, he turns back and says, oh, are you okay? I was like, yeah, we're fine. Are you okay? He's like, yeah. Gets into his car, drives away. I turn to my fiance and say, I don't know what these black folks are complaining about. That could not have been a more pleasant exchange. I felt safe. I felt protected. I felt like my life mattered.
Living in Philadelphia means I have mice in my home. It comes with the deed. And on the lease, it's my wife and I and 17 mice. You're going to roll your eyes at this, but my wife and I were animal lovers, so we don't have the traps that kill the mice. Thank you. But we have the traps that trap the mice, and then you drive them 7.5 miles away because apparently someone drove them 7 and they came back. One of the most degrading trial and error situations, I would imagine. So you rehome them. You rehome the mice. That's what you do. And it's weird. I've been working my entire life to become a professional stand-up comedian, and now it turns out I'm just an Uber for varmints. That's what I put on my taxes. Uber for varmints. I have 20,000 dependents spread throughout the city. They say it's the humane thing to do, though, not to kill them. What they don't tell you is how weird you look when you drive into a random neighborhood, get out of your car, and then just release mice into it. Be free! I did the other day while a school was getting out, and this little girl turns to her dad, and she goes, oh my God, Daddy, is that a wizard? Because no, he's more of a male witch if you get to know him, actually. That's more of his vibe. I've been going down to this place called the Jersey Shore a lot since I moved back to the East Coast. If you don't know what it is, it's like the beach where people from Philly and New York go. And there's a place in particular that I've been going. It's called Ocean City, New Jersey. And yes. And I've been going on, like, that's going to have to be cut out, what I just did. We can't have it. Oh. They blur it out, you know, it's so humiliating. Like, my apologies to the editor of this special. I apologize. So I've been going down to Ocean City, New Jersey a lot, and they had this issue where this is a real thing. Seagulls were dive bombing people on the boardwalk, and they were knocking food out of their hands and knocking hats off ladies' heads. So the local government in Ocean City, New Jersey, their solution to this, after much deliberation, was to hire a birds of prey company to release hawks into the air to go to war with the seabirds. What the f***? That was your solution? And one of my favorite things to witness in life is this thing that I call the I f***ed up at work walk, where you messed up at your job and you have to tell your boss, and you're not going to get fired, but he's going to be a real piece of about it. So you're kind of just trudging, you know, you're bummed out. And I saw a guy doing that on the boardwalk, and I will paint a colorful description as to what this man looked like. In his one hand, he had a little hood. How little? You might be wondering. A hood so little it would fit perfectly on a hawk's head. And on his other hand, he had a big, scary, thick leather glove going up to his shoulder. And this next part, I feel like I actually don't have to say because you're probably already picturing it in your head, but just in case I'm missing some people, long gray ponytail down his back. You saw it? We saw it. We all saw it. And this guy's trudging, and he goes up to his boss, who looked exactly like him, except his long gray ponytail was like 6 inches longer, you know, to show rank. Excuse me. And our first guy, he goes up to his boss and goes, "I messed up!" And his boss goes, "What happened?" And he goes, "I lost a bird!" And his boss goes, "How do you lose a bird?" And I go, "May I interject?" It's a bird. I would imagine, is it the wings? Did it use its wings? Its God-given wings? Oh, okay, it flew away, you idiot. That's how. I'm not a business expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I would imagine part of the risk assessment when you open up a hawk company. Some of them are gonna fly away. They're gonna fly away. Hey, you lose a bird. Oh my God, it hit me over the head with a fish, stole my iPhone, hailed an Uber, and drove away.
I've been married 3 years now, and I love being married. When I'm on the road, I see men talk to women in the wild, and it's crazy. I was checking in at a hotel, woman behind the counter, very pretty, and the guy in front of me is being a creep. I'm watching him. I'm 20 feet behind him, but I can hear it go down, right? He's checking in, and the woman goes, "Do you have any preference of what floor you stay on?" And I swear to y'all, this guy leans forward. He goes, "What floor are you staying on?" She goes, "I'm not. I work here. I don't stay at the hotel that I work." Do you think I'm a guest just chipping in down here in the lobby? Is that honestly how you think we staff this La Quinta? You think you gotta be the lifeguard tomorrow? I don't stay at the hotel that employs me, you moron. So he walks away, tail between his legs, rightfully so. Now I'm up next, right? I saw the whole thing go down. So I was like, okay, I'll bond with her over what a creep the last dude was. So I'm checking in, and she says, "How many room keys do you want? 1 or 2? So I go, "How many room keys do you want?" And she did not get the reference at all, dude. I looked way worse than the first guy, if I'm being honest. The look on her face, she's like, they just keep coming in today. I mean, is there a creep convention in town? What's happening here?
There was a lot of things that I saw people doing that I knew I wasn't gonna do as a mom. Like the one thing I don't do is boys will be boys. I don't do that with my son. It's too permissive. There's no equivalent for little girls. So I don't allow it. And you know, the parents that I've seen do it, it gets out of hand real quick. You just know it's gonna snowball to bigger things, like boys will be boys. He stabbed the babysitter. He's a boy. He's learning to express himself.
My job is to see to it that all devices remain charged. I take it very seriously. I'm always on the prowl. I'm like, "Honey, give me that. You're at 11%. Thank God I was here." Crisis averted. That's what it means to be a man in 2017. Just like, I think we have an outlet over here. Let me keep the family safe. 70% and above, that's my rule. Because she'll let it get down to like the single digits. I'm like, we're not animals. I have outlets all over this place.
I only like restaurants that proudly advertise themselves as being farm to table. Oh, yeah. Which is a very silly thing for a restaurant to say. Because that's where they grow food. And that's what you eat it off of at every restaurant. Arby's is a farm-to-table restaurant. It's a gross farm, and the table is bolted to the wall, But it's farm to table all the same. When I say farm to table, I mean something very specific, okay? I mean a farm that is owned by a nice lesbian couple who left finance and bought a goat. And when I say table, I mean like a door that used to be on a very old church that they've taken down and kind of fashioned into a banquet-style seating arrangement where you sit around it with 6 other couples who you don't know. You didn't come with them. And you all talk about the same 3 A24 movies all night. Yeah. When I go to a restaurant, I want the drinks and the light bulbs to be in mason jars. Do you understand me? I like restaurants that have an ampersand in the middle of their name. They cannot spell out the word and. It has to be a cutesy little ampersand, right? It has to be like Turkey and the Wolf. Or the Girl and the Goat. I would eat at Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.